Scott Credit Union. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Upgrade your summer ride with auto loan rates as low as 3.99% APR at Scott Credit Union. New or used, Scott Credit Union helps you love your ride and your rate. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary, terms and conditions apply.
Chris Ranchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, good morning, friends. It's Friday. You know what that means. Does anybody know? I don't know what it means. I know that it's Friday.
It means it's time to mail it in.
Oh, it's mail it in Friday.
You always mail it in on Friday.
All right.
Absolutely.
Costs more to mail it in these days.
It sure does.
And,
I mean, every year it's going to get.
And it might not get there.
What are you talking? Well, it depends.
If you're in St. Louis, it might not get there.
That is true.
The Senators are looking into it.
It sounds like they are getting to the bottom of it. And you know what? If there's anything I trust, it's our Senators.
July the 20th was the day I mailed a check to my buddy Michael Kelly.
Still waiting on it.
Still waiting on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why did you mail him a check? You basically live together.
Yeah, you see him all the time.
Well, it seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, well, back in the day, you could mail something to somebody, and the next date it would be there. And this is not an exaggeration. In my office, which is less than 2 blocks from where we sit right now, we see the mail about 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Sometimes 3.
How is it in the Soulard? Because I have heard some complaints from some of my buddies in Soulard that they only get the mail a few days a week.
I think I get it every day.
You
I mean, I don't
check,
get
though.
a ton of mail.
Yeah,
But you don't know what you're missing. That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah, you
you
don't.
have no idea.
What you're not getting.
Right.
Well, I don't get a whole lot. I get packages mailed. That's it. Hey, guys, can we do the formality
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. Go
ahead.
And then
Tell
we'll
everybody
get to
the
the
phone number and
conversation.
stuff.
Yeah, 314-436-7900. Call and text, voice messages on the Odyssey app. Watch the show on Facebook and YouTube at the KMOX news pages. You should be subscribed, and you can like our content on the YouTube page, KMOX News. We are also on Twitter, and you can stream us there at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
We've been talking about flock cameras recently, and St. Charles County Police are now restricting them after they were abused by an employee.
And day 1 of the BMW Championship is in the books. That's at Belle Reve. And we have a spectator of the BMW Championship in the room with us today.
Oh, a spectator is here. Cardinals defeated the Reds, and that was a wild game last night.
Crazy.
Good.
That
Yesterday.
was so wild.
Good Lord. They had no business winning that one, and they almost didn't, and by golly, they did.
It was fun watching it from some of the Reds fans, broadcasters' point of view. Yeah.
So that was really something yesterday. So Cardinals ended up winning 3 of the 5 games against the Reds. They are in Philadelphia for a series against the Phillies. That's a team that they are chasing in the wild card standings.
And they're red hot right now, too.
Yeah, the Phillies are playing good ball. They've won 13 games this month. Cardinals have won 11 in the month of August. So they're playing pretty. Really, the Cardinals have had that bad month of July. But for the most part, they've been pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Hancock and Kelly are with us. John Hancock, Michael Kelly, Amy Mark Scores, Chris Ranji. Pajeski is in here, too. So we have spent, and I'm sure that some people are ready to move on from this, but we are not. Because we wanted to get your thoughts on it. You may have heard throughout the week the rift that has occurred between the mayor of St. Louis, Kara Spencer.
May have heard.
And
couldn't help but hear, perhaps.
Police chief and the police union, police chief Robert Tracy and the union as well. The union put out a statement the other day, earlier in the week, basically admonishing the mayor for showing up to the wake of an officer and then discussing benefits and pay compensation with a couple of officers. They put out this statement, and they said they were angry as they put out this statement on Facebook and on their own page. We got a response from her. We got a response from the police chief. We spoke to both Chief Tracy and Mayor Spencer on this show earlier in the week as well. So you have followed all of this.
Yes.
And it doesn't seem like we know there has been some tension since the implementation of the Board of Commissioners. The city doesn't like the fact the board exists, so already that's a problem. So with that as the backdrop, and you have been watching this saga all week, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, so we had a police commission in this city for 100 years until local control was granted in 2012. And I don't recall in that time, you go back to the Slay years, the Harmon years, the Bosley years, on and on. I don't recall this kind of a tension between the mayor and the police board ever. So I don't think you can blame the police board for the tension because there had been a police board in place and things worked swimmingly for the most part. And, I kind of, if you have to pick a side on this deal, I'm with the cops.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. You're going to have a hard time finding somebody who's more pro-union in St. Louis than myself.
True.
But I got to tell you, I think the union is the police union's really frustrating. First of all, to post what they posted on a Facebook page, asserting some things about the mayor, saying some stuff.
It was unequivocally critical of her. That it was beneath the office and disrespectful.
And I question how real that exact exchange was. At the same time, I don't doubt.
You talking about at the funeral?
Yeah, at the funeral.
At the wake.
But I don't doubt that the mayor probably had some conversation like all of us do when you have small talk. The police union in my entire life, and I've lived through from the Shamel administration on, never seems to be able to get along with many people. They weren't able to get along with the Shamel administration, the Bosley administration, the Harmon administration, the LaCruson administration, the Slay administration, surely not the Shara Jones administration. They even helped Kara Spencer get to where she's at, and within less than a year, they're at each other's throat. So I take kind of that assertion with a grain of salt. At the same time, the mayor is extremely frustrating, and that, look, the people of the state of Missouri passed this legislation, turned over control of the state to the St. Louis Police Board. The mayor has an ex officio role there where she gets to weigh in. But at the end of the day, it's being controlled by the state. She's an observer, and that's not the way that she's acting. She's trying to be indignant about everything that's going on. And so I think we have two sides that are just acting silly and irrational.
To be fair, the people of St. Louis did not vote for this board.
Doesn't matter.
The governor, who was voted on by the entire state. So the entire state has a say on how St. Louis polices itself?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've ever read the Constitution of the state of Missouri, there's a whole section in there on how the city of St. Louis is going to be set up separate from St. Louis County, etc.
Right.
It's just that they are the sovereign, and they have the ability to make those types of decisions.
Does that mean the city and the mayor should not be frustrated that that control was taken away from them?
I think the mayor can be frustrated. The problem is the mayor seems to be frustrated on everything that's happening. This week, she was upset about the fact that there's federal cooperation happening with the FBI and other organizations. First of all, those type of cooperative agreements with the feds have been going on for decades upon decades upon decades. This is not new. Now, if the mayor's frustrated and nervous that ICE is potentially going to be authorized to come into St. Louis and start messing with people, and she wasn't informed, fair criticism. That wasn't what we heard from the mayor. What we heard was frustration of how come I'm not being informed about all this. I just wish these people, a pox on all their houses. The board, the chief, the mayor, the police union. I mean, we need cooperating folks. Things aren't going well here. We'd like these folks to work together. We're all in this together. And so I'm frustrated with all of them. I think the mayor's swinging at every pitch. I think the union is looking for anything or any zit that they can point to and say they have a problem. The board is executing their agenda without really taking the input of the community. And I think the police chief, who at the end of the day is a good public servant who knows how to police, is stuck in the middle. And we just got a mess.
You lost me with the poxes and the zits.
Good Lord.
Now, I don't think the police officers would have posted on Facebook had the officers that were at the visitation not been offended. They I mean, I don't know what was said. I don't know who said what, but it's pretty clear to me that some of the officers at that event were offended by whatever the mayor did or said. because you don't post something on Facebook if there was no underlying, I don't think.
But here's my question, John, because like I said, you can assume it was an inappropriate conversation for multiple reasons.
Yep.
You can be frustrated that it took place at a funeral, even though we've all had weird conversations at funerals. You're standing around, you see some people laughing, some people reuniting, organic conversations happen.
Yep.
Or you could be upset that she was talking to rank and file about union negotiations. Let's say you take those two angles and you're frustrated at both. If I'm the police officers union and I'm really offended because in that moment it seemed like it was not respectful of the family of the fallen officer, I would go to the mayor in private,
not
because
make this
now
public, because
none
now
of
that
us would have
family's-
known
yes.
about this.
Good
None of
for
us
them.
would have known about it. And now by going public with it, now it is the whole story.
And
by the
to
way,
pretend like they didn't go public with it when they posted it on a Facebook post.
Yeah, so they reached out. They heard our interviews of the chief and mayor, and they sent us a statement. It was a short statement, maybe 3 or 4 sentences. And they said, we did not go to the media. We posted it on our Facebook page. Like, yeah, what do you think that is? It's not a private page that only officers get. It wasn't a memo that was emailed that got leaked to the public. You put it on a public platform. We offered them an opportunity. Martin Garcia, who's the president of the association, we offered him an opportunity. They did not respond. Yeah.
Haven't heard back yet.
Never heard back. So we gave him a chance to come on the show. They refused to. So.
The Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. You got the Facebook out there, Kelly?
I got one.
Yeah. The Facebook is, I believe, something that we call social
Media.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But anyway, regardless.
And politicians and organizations use social media now to make major announcements.
Sure.
It's
Yes.
a public forum.
On Twitter, Instagram, they use the social media to do that a lot.
I think the part that's the most disappointing for all of us is that I think we all recognize that crime and policing is one of the major issues and that need to be dealt with in St. Louis. Heck, we even had a governor who ran statewide on the issue of crime in St. Louis. And this is where we sit, in a blender of nonsense where these folks can't seem to communicate on some of the most basic things. They seem to be arguing about extremely petty or trivial things that aren't necessarily verifiable. And it makes you question whether or not they're going to be capable of executing their jobs from all perspectives, from a policing perspective, from a leadership perspective, and from a political perspective.
TW is watching us on YouTube and says what's being lost is Mayor Spencer's dog in the fight is having to meet budget numbers imposed on her by state control and the police board. It's not like she's looking to run the police department. And I tend to agree with that. I think that's probably true. I mean, that's where some of this frustration lies. If you remember, just a couple of months ago, they passed this new salary thing.
Right.
And the city's saying, hey, we've only got so much money here. So what do you want us to do? I mean, if you are telling us how much we have to pay police and sergeants and captains and so on and so forth, and you're imposing that on us, well, you're making the job more difficult. That means we have to cut back on other services.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't think there's a single more important thing that the city has to address right now than crime. And, the one thing all of these folks seem to agree on, I mean, I heard both interviews, is that it's very difficult to recruit officers into St. Louis. And one of the reasons it's difficult is because of the pay.
Well, that's the whole thing here, right?
They all agree that the pay is a problem. So let's,
And that's the mayor's argument.
That's
is
exactly
could we?
right.
And again, I don't know. You guys might know this better because we've had some texters say that you're not choosing between benefits and salary, but the mayor is saying if $150,000 per officer, but so much of it goes to benefits. What if we cut back a little bit on the benefits 30 years down the road so that officers can get $90,000 a year now instead of $70,000 a year?
That's a legitimate
and
conversation.
That is her argument.
Yeah,
is
and
they need cash. Young officers with families need cash.
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate argument. I think raising it at a funeral, and this isn't, somebody's grandpa died who was, 95 years old. This was an officer, a colleague, a brother who took his own life.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of visitation experience.
So here's my question about that is this. There are various ways that things come up at funerals, and we just talked about this a few minutes ago, that when you're at a wake or a funeral, weird conversations happen. It's not all somber
Hey,
all the
how
time.
are you? I love the show. Oh my gosh, are you still running? All
Yeah.
of that happened at a really sad funeral.
If we were to find out, and I said this earlier in the week, that the mayor was walking up to officers and polling them like, hey, I'm so sorry for your loss. By the way, do you think you should make more money? What if we took money away from your... Yeah, I think that would be totally objectionable. But if she's in the middle of a conversation with 3 guys she knows or has met before who were friends of this officer, and somehow the conversation naturally goes to that, I'm sorry, I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I think the association made a bigger deal out of it than it needed to happen. And look at the crap it caused this week.
Yeah, but it's clear to me that those officers were offended.
Or somebody standing by listening was offended.
Right.
I have a question for Michael when we come back.
Awesome.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if you could better understand your risk for chronic disease and cancer before symptoms ever begin? With your disease risk from Siteman Cancer Center, you can take a quick, evidence-based assessment that looks at factors like family history, lifestyle, and everyday habits to provide personalized insights about your health. Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play an important role in your future well-being. Knowing how these factors work together can help you make informed decisions and take action earlier. When it comes to prevention, knowledge is powerful. In just a few minutes, your disease risk can help you better understand your health risks and provide practical guidance to support a healthier future. Take the first step today. Prevention begins with awareness. Visit siteman.washu.edu/YDR. That's siteman.washu.edu/YDR.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade? Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, mine starts here.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Don't let garage door problems bench your summer plans. From repairs, tune-ups, and replacements, Renner Garage Door hits a grand slam every time. Score a free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
Retirement. Exciting in one way, scary in others. How do you find the financial advisor that covers all the bases? Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
We've got Hancock and Kelly in Studio B as we continue our conversation briefly about the mayor and the police officers association. I said I had a question specifically for Michael. First, Michael, you brought up that you're feeling frustration because the mayor seems to be frustrated on every account, every turn. She's swinging at every pitch, like you said. I understand the mayor's extreme frustration with the police officer union statement. I don't understand as much her frustration about the federal agents coming in to help St. Louis. That happens, like you said, for decades. That's a good thing. But going back to the conversation about pay, which comes up organically. I have a few anecdotes of talking to some police officers, rank and file officers about, hey, how do you feel about pay versus benefits? And the anecdotal few I talked to really wanted more money, up front. Mm-hmm. Is the mayor allowed to talk to rank and file officers about pay, or is that union negotiations? I'm a little confused.
It's supposed to be union negotiations, but I mean, you're allowed to interact with anybody that you want, but that's not a negotiation. That's just, hey, Amy, what do you think? And I'm not surprised that younger officers want more pay. That's what's going to recruit younger officers. They're not thinking about benefits. At the same time, that's why you have a union that has representation of folks who've maybe been on the force for 30 years and people who've not even been on the force yet, to make sure that the benefits of all of their membership are covered. Because the guy who's coming in next year who may want more money doesn't realize 25 years from now, he wants to make sure that he's got that pension that was negotiated for him. And the appropriate place to have negotiations and conversations about pay and benefits is in a contract negotiation. And so I think everybody's conflating it. I don't believe that the mayor was trying to negotiate with these three officers. I'm not even sure this conversation happened the way that it happened.
There are, or the way it's been presented.
The way that it's been presented, yes.
And I don't either. I mean, again, I wasn't there, but I have a feeling that it wasn't as presented. But we had a listener earlier in the week, maybe it was a viewer on YouTube, who basically said, well, you have to think about what's happening here, because the association is run by older people, right? People who are closer to retirement. So they would have a vested interest in benefits being better than a younger officer would. A younger officer would look for more pay, probably.
Unions are the purest form of democracy there are. I mean, I know they get demonized, etc.
Oh, I love unions.
Everything that happens inside of a union gets voted on. And so the leadership and the representation of the Police Officers Association is selected by every member of that association. So young members and older members all have input. I don't buy that it's, it's being run by the older folks. No, they're making sure that they cover all aspects. They have a fiduciary responsibility to negotiate and advocate on behalf of all their members.
Yeah, and so because it's a union, there is a scale in place of wages that's largely based on seniority, and I got no problem with that. But one of the issues that I think is prevalent here is that there aren't enough physical officers on the street. That a pretty good chunk of the St. Louis City Municipal Police Department are wearing white shirts and doing desk work, which is great, fine. But you need more officers wearing blue shirts that are on the street and actively patrolling. And if you raise, in order to raise the entry pay, everybody's salary gets raised. See? And so that becomes a fiscal burden perhaps for the city. What I've suggested, nobody pays attention to what I suggest anymore.
I am paying attention to you right now.
Attention.
But in places like Hawaii, of all places, they have what they call hazard pay, so that those officers that are actively patrolling on the street, they're able to be compensated at a higher level because they're incurring the risk in a way that doesn't fundamentally upset the pay gradation of the unionized police department.
I can't believe we don't have hazard pay.
John, you bring up some accurate points of things that need to be discussed. And the appropriate place for that to happen is in a negotiating setting. The one thing I learned around my father in contract negotiations is once you start fighting with each other in the media, your ability to get things done is extremely limited.
True.
And we have some major stuff that needs to, maybe there is a conversation where we have too many white shirts. Maybe there is a conversation that needs to happen where younger officers need more pay, older officers stuff needs to be. That's not going to be fixed in the media. That's going to entrench people to come on here, make their spin, fight with each other. And this is a time where they really all need to be in a room working together. Clearly, the mayor, the board, have a hard time communicating with each other. Who's one person that could come in here and show some leadership? Oh, that potentially could be the governor, the man who set this up. Where is he?
Michael Kelly, John Hancock, Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. Anybody in this room ever been divorced?
I have.
You have?
I have not.
You haven't?
Not yet.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we come back, we're going to talk about one of the great divorces in the history of history. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Gosh. All right. Well, in the meantime, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling stronger. I've been going to the exercise coach for the past couple of weeks. And I think people think just because I run, I know a lot about fitness or I'm comfortable in the gym. And it actually could not be further from the truth. I know how to run in a straight line. I don't know how to lift weights. I don't know what the right way to build the most strength or to not get hurt. That's why I've so enjoyed the exercise coach. It really transforms the way you feel day to day and the way you age. I'm in my 40s. I want to build strength. The exercise coach is for you if you want to get into exercising, strength training for the first time. If you want to make sure you can feel strong to play with the grandkids. If you like pickleball and you want to be strong and be able to play pickleball or keep hiking, just doing your activities, it's not about bodybuilding and getting bulky. It's about building strength with just 2 20-minute sessions per week. Build strength, improve your fitness, feel more confident in everyday life, and you have a coach right there next to you the entire time for a challenging, efficient workout catered to you. Google the exercise coach near me, the exercise coach near me.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Before YouTube DIY videos, before skip ad, before don't forget to like and subscribe, there was KMOX. And this Saturday, we're still at your service. At 8, the Garden Hotline with Michelle Reeser-West, sponsored by Chesterfield Valley Nursery. At 11, the Home Improvement Show with Rich Orris, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts. So, skip the videos and get it done right. KMOX is at your service, starting Saturday at 8.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
75 degrees right now. Times of clouds and sun, a high of 88. Partly cloudy and humid, a thunderstorm in spots late tonight. A low of 69. Weather sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earned from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Let me explain something. Divorce is always good news. I know that sounds weird, but it's true because no good marriage has ever ended in divorce. It's really that simple. That's never happened. That would be sad. If two people were married and they were really happy and they just had a great thing, and then they got divorced, that would be really sad. But that has happened 0 times.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it was like back in the 1870s.
I can tell you.
But
not that
were the city and county really not that happy with each other? If you are not aware, tomorrow marks the 150th anniversary of the vote that officially separated St. Louis City and the county from each other. And I feel like we are paying for it still. 150 years have gone by since then. And you know, we can point to a lot of issues that have still have occurred. We know there have been efforts over the decades, and I think going back to the 60s, maybe even before that.
Yeah,
there were
20s.
Efforts to reunify both sides, and it has never happened. The most recent effort that failed was back in 2019, Better Together. We've got Hancock and Kelly with us today. And, you know, because tomorrow is a pretty important anniversary in this area, and we look to all the other cities that are similar to us, that are within within shouting distance, right? I mean, cities like Indianapolis and Nashville and Cincinnati, so on and so forth. And they're not dealing with the problems that we deal with. They also have more of a unification that's happened. So as we sit here now, guys, I think that most of us in the room are in agreement that many of our issues start there. Those aren't our only issues.
Correct.
But a lot of the problems we face have roots 150 years ago, which is kind of insane to think about.
Yeah, and do you know, fun little fact here, they didn't announce the election results of the Great Divorce Election of August 22nd, 1876 for 4 months. And there were widespread accusations of ballot stuffing that took place. And so we may not have, in fact, actually supported the great divorce. And I think, what was driving it is that the city fathers didn't want to have the financial burden of taking care of all that, rural land.
Yeah, they didn't, because the city was populated and wealthy, and they didn't want the rural rubes to be part of the region.
Here's another fun little fact. In 2019, when Better Together was unveiled to St. Louis, Hancock and Kelly announced it. We stood at the Cheshire together.
Which is located in both St. Louis City and St. Louis County.
It's right there, that Skinker right there.
With every ounce of my being, I will tell you that I think that Better Together was 99% right on everything that it put together. It's common sense stuff. You can't run a railroad the way that we were doing it. We're paying almost 4 times for local government to what Indianapolis, Louisville, Baltimore, all the other municipalities along the Mason-Dixon line, which are involved in the same circumstances. We, as a result of this, have the most fractured form of government ever. It's quite evident, and there are plenty of roadmaps that show us a way to fix this.
Yep.
But in the same way that we are obsessed with baseball, we are obsessed with avoiding change. And we meet change with a baseball bat. And unfortunately, I think this divorce is going to continue to happen until one of us dies.
I'm not as pessimistic about that because some things have changed. For most of my life, St. Louis City was solidly Democrat. St. Louis County was solidly Republican. And so any talk about unification of any kind would be met with a lot of resistance in the county because you will never have another Republican county leader. Well, that problem's solved now. St. Louis County is one of the most reliably Democratic counties in the state. So it's not like if you have St. Louis City and County together that you're going to create some partisan earthquake. Quite the contrary, I think. And if we did it right, and you had boom, St. Louis, figure out a way for St. Louis City is made up of neighborhoods, all of which have names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tower Grove, Central West End, Fountain Park.
Maintain your identity. Have a town council in Kirkwood and Florissant, and figure that out. But St. Louis, Missouri is St. Louis, Missouri, and then how about this idea? Why don't we have nonpartisan elections for the mayor of St. Louis? Get rid of the Democrat Republican and let people run for mayor. I think there's a way to do this that makes sense, and I think there is a growing appetite in the public for a solution.
Okay, really? You think that the people of Chesterfield, what you call God's country, Kirkwood, Webster, Florissant, are going to be able to drop down their borders and say, yes, we'll surrender our individual governments? That'd be lovely if that was the case. But I think the shoe is on the other foot now. Back in the day, it was the city of St. Louis that held all the cards. Now it's St. Louis County, and it's not even really the county. It's the municipalities in St. Louis County, and I don't see them surrendering their fiefdoms.
It's because over the decades, all the people with resources left the city.
Can I give an anecdote as to kind of drive home the point about the fiefdoms and how divided we are? I used to work at a running store, Fleet Feet in Chesterfield.
There it was.
And a woman came in to buy some shoes, didn't have her size. I said, but we get the shipment in tomorrow. We'll have your size. If you can get your shoes tomorrow. And she said, why can't I live out of town? I said, oh, okay, well, I can ship them to you. Where do you live? She said, Kirkwood. She couldn't possibly drive back to Chesterfield because she lives out of town in Kirkwood. I
get that. I'm telling you.
We are that divided where
that.
she wanted me to ship them to her. So I'm kind of cynical with this, with all of the cities and municipalities pulling together. And, okay, quick question, though, about Better Together and how we focused on leadership. Wouldn't Better Together, as it was planned, have made the ignominious former St. Louis County executive Steve Stenger the grand poobah of the whole area?
That would have.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, being that, politics of the moment wound up dictating what the eventual outcome would be. But if we were doing an exercise at a university and we were drawing up a government and we were like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We didn't know the personalities. We didn't know the individuals. We didn't know the parties. We would have said, this makes sense. Let's make the county executive of the largest county in the state of Missouri the head of the municipality, et cetera, et cetera. It just didn't work because it got to individuals. And like I said, 99% of it was right.
And lest we forget, at the time, so many years ago, the mayor, Lyda Krewson, was more than willing to step back because she believed that unifying St. Louis was a necessary condition of making things better. And I don't know that the next mayor or the next mayor is going to be that sanguine about this.
And do you want to know who one of the strongest fighters against Better Together was? The current mayor of the city of St. Louis, who now is saying, well, I think city of St. Louis should maybe re-enter St. Louis County, which I think is a fine first step if they're able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But I don't think that fixes the problem.
It does not.
At the end of the day, the only way to fix this problem is to burn it down.
What, the city or
just the whole government structure we had?
Okay.
You're not,
start over.
You're not suggesting that the old lady's cow kick over the fire
No,
cannon.
I'm not. But you get what I'm
Mrs.
saying.
O'Leary.
Yes.
But
Mrs.
we've got
O'Leary's
to
cow
we've
destroyed
got to
a whole
collapse
city. Yes.
the fiefdoms. We've got to collapse the fire districts. We have to collapse the police departments. We have to collapse all of it to create something new. And I don't see an appetite to be able to pull that off. I'm hoping. I'm a team player. I want to get it done.
Horatio Spafford lost all of his property in that fire of 1871 in Chicago.
Is that
Poor
really?
guy. Yeah.
Do you know what's on the site of the barn where the cow kicked over the lantern and started the fire?
Maybe. Go ahead.
It is a fire department.
Oh, wow.
It's a fire. There's a
Firehouse.
fire training
That's really great.
facility, fire department kind of right
really
there.
great.
Isn't that awesome?
Best thing long term that ever happened in Chicago, though.
They took the rubble and they filled in part of the lake and they created more land. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. By the way, thanks to this texter for pointing this out, which I did not realize, and they are absolutely. But George Custer was killed at Little Bighorn, and then 2 months later, we voted to separate the city and county.
There you go.
Wow, no one ever brings that up.
I know.
You know?
I didn't know it was so close
Yeah.
in history.
Custer's last stand.
That's correct.
It's amazing that still probably is the single biggest defining issue of our entire region.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Quite possibly the result of a rigged election.
Oh, I'll read this, John. This is from St. Louis Magazine, which years ago had a great story on the Great Divorce. But according to the St. Louis Globe Democrat at the time, election officials admitted they'd, quote, stuffed in bogus votes by the handful, swore to false returns, and by every device of perjury, corruption, and rascality did all that lay in their power to convert the election into a shameless farce.
Yep. There you have it.
So, man,
This is unbelievable.
Who are these people who did this? Can we dig them up and kill them again?
Oh my gosh!
If it was possible.
I'll bet you a bunch of them are buried in the county.
Yeah, I bet probably a bunch of jerks.
Oh, that is awful.
Right. Got a little bit to
Well-
go here with Hancock and Kelly before we get to Ryan Krull from St.
We
Louis
got to ask
Magazine.
Michael about golf. BMW Championship.
Oh, she. I was there yesterday.
Hey, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, the KMOX news pages, you should be subscribing to us on YouTube for sure. And then if you watch the video, like it. We like to get likes. You can notice that John and Michael are wearing the same shirt, basically.
They look like they're twinning.
it
Wait,
is,
so are we. We're
what?
both wearing red. Look
You're
at us.
wearing a tank top. I got a long sleeve
You and
shirt
I are
on.
both in red, and they're both in pink.
Thank God you're not in a tank top, Ranch.
Want to see my nipples?
No.
Okay. Baseball fans.
That's not what tank tops do.
Guys, I got to talk about dingers now.
Okay, well, keep your
We're going
dingers
from-
in your shirt.
We're going from nipples to dingers.
My ding-a-ling.
Baseball fans, listen up. If you think you know who's going to hit a home run today with the Cardinals playing in Philadelphia, it doesn't have to be that game. It could be any game. Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Just make your free pick on who you think will hit a home run in their game, and if you're right, you get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You have got nothing to lose, a lot to gain, and don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the season. This is just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So if you're ready to play your game, FanDuel.com/Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri, and play daily dingers and make your free pick on who you think will hit a home run today. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth. Sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement with Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX, and get more at rickenfinancial.com.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
John's Garage Doors, John's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, CEO of Don's Garage Doors. Garage doors have an amazing sense of timing. They don't break when you're sitting around with nothing to do. They break when you're already late for work, trying to get the kids to school, or heading out for vacation. That's why we offer same-day service. We know you're not calling us because it's convenient. You're calling us because it's an emergency and your day just got interrupted. Our job isn't just to repair your garage door. We know you have places to be and a day that doesn't stop because your garage door did. That's why our team works with urgency, communicates clearly, and shows up ready to solve the problem. Offering same-day service is one small way we put our customers first. Call by 10 a.m. for same-day service or schedule the day that works best for you. If we can't make it happen, you get $300 towards your repair or replacement. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Doors.
John's Garage Doors, John's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Today,
the Cards, the Phillies.
Emeren Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hancock and Kelly join the show every Friday from 9 until 10 o'clock. And soon enough, we're going to start putting them to work until 12. We're going to have them be with us.
I think they were supposed to be with us the whole show from here on out.
No, I'm saying like in perpetuity. They're going to be with us every
from here on out.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of that?
Would require some hazard pay, but I'd be open to it.
We could do it. They're pretty loose with the funds around here.
I enjoy my time with you guys. I'd be happy to do another hour.
I love you.
Yeah.
John?
Sure, whatever. You know.
He's giving him the evil eye.
I mean, I'm going to be talking somewhere. Might as well be here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a way to look at it. All right, Michael, the BMW Championship, day one in the books. You were there?
It was cool.
How was it?
It was special, man. It really showed off St. Louis. If you have an opportunity to get over there and do it, the weather was fabulous. The course is in incredible shape. And Bellerive has done it up right. In particular, I'm always fascinated by this because you see these golfers on TV, right? And anybody on television who's a world-class athlete looks larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
You see Rory McIlroy, the longest hitter on the PGA. He is not a tall dude at all.
Little guy.
Yeah, he's a little guy. And it's just amazing. Every time I see him, I'm like, this guy can hit the ball further than any human being out there. And he, 5'8", 5'9"?
I was at, let's see, when was the PGA champ? Was it 2018?
18, yeah.
2018.
Mm-hmm.
So we did, it was at the sports station. We did Thursday and Friday. We did our show from out there. And So we were right by the practice range, you know, the driving range, and Tiger was out there. So I had a press pass, so I'm like, I'm gonna weasel my way out here. So I go out there, and that was when Tiger was in it up until Sunday.
Oh, he made a charge on Sunday.
He winds up winning the Masters just a couple of months later.
Right.
The crowds were unbelievable around him. It was like, this larger than life presence is walking through, and everybody's following him. So I just, I did the thing where I'm standing on the place where they drive. I don't know anything about golf. And so I'm
driving range.
That's it. T-box. And so I got my phone out, and I'm like, well, I look like I'm press. So I take a photo, and he just side-eyed me. I got a good side-eye photo of Tiger somewhere in my phone.
You know, the great thing about this tournament, there's more rich people per square foot. I mean, you think there's not any money in this town? There's money in this town.
There's money in this town. There's a lot of money in St. Louis.
A lot of old money there.
Yeah. And I guess what they said there are 15,000, 20,000 people there. By the way, these are only the best golfers. I mean, you have the
50.
world number one.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler was there.
Over yesterday.
Huge crowd around him. Of course, Rory McIlroy with a huge crowd around him. A lot of golf tournaments. You may get one or two of the big guys who show up. The fact that all of the top golfers in the world are here is really cool. If you get an opportunity to go out there, it's really worth going.
Dan Reardon, our golf expert here at KMOX, he mentioned that, yes, this is not the U.S. Open or the Masters. It's not a major, but he said it is right beneath it. That's how big this tournament
giving away
is.
$30 million.
That's why, yes, everyone is here. He goes, it may not be the U.S. Open, but it is right there beneath it.
Yep.
And it's here in St. Louis, which is very cool. You see the signs all over the highway about the different parking lots. And I know that the Family Arena was almost at capacity yesterday, and that was for day one. So they are encouraging people to carpool or ride share.
Yep.
Because it's just an incredible turnout.
Yeah, get over there.
Did you guys see there is a dessert coffee cocktail place I think it's in St. Charles, called Lydia's.
Okay.
And they were selling the Scotty Scheffler cookies with the mugshot.
Oh, very nice.
Gosh, really?
Yes.
Someone should
The
bring
Scotty
those as a
Scheffler
gift.
mugshot cookies.
Oh.
He
was such a weird
He
thing.
is, by all accounts, a genuinely good dude.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think that was such a weird situation.
It was.
That was
very
a
strange.
very poorly run entrance guard situation for that to even happen to the number one golfer in the world.
When everybody that matters is coming to Mayberry, you don't send Barney out there to, crowd control. I mean, you bring some other resources into play.
They arrested the number one golfer in the world as he was trying to get to the golf course.
It's very funny.
And he's still on his ascension. I mean, obviously, Tiger and Rory have cut themselves out as, one of the 5 best golfers maybe in the history of the sport. Scotty Scheffler's still in ascension, so you're watching somebody who's cementing their legacy right before your eyes.
Guys, what are you going to go do now?
Got to go talk to each other, right?
Yeah, got to do some stuffing things.
Stuffing things.
What in the...
Like envelopes?
My guy's still recovering from a pulled...
yeah, we know.
Yeah,
It's a lot better than it was last week.
Okay.
Well, don't...
Well, good luck, buddy.
too
No
much
sudden
stuffing.
movements.
That's exactly right.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Ryan Krull from St. Louis Magazine. If you're worried about your catalytic converter being stolen, well...
Be more worried.
Yeah, be more worried. He's got a story for you. We'll talk about that when we come back on KMOX.
Hey guys, Cam Jansen here. Don't miss the hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center in the South Hall. Choose from over 30 American-made units on display. See hot tubs, swim spas, and cold tubs all ready for immediate delivery. Save up to 50% off MSRP. Financing is available. For more information, call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
When it comes to your health, exceptional care matters. At St. Luke's, nationally recognized physicians, advanced technology, and compassionate care come together to provide an exceptional healthcare experience close to home. St. Luke's is nationally recognized for excellence across multiple multiple specialties, including being named number 3 in the nation for cardiovascular care. Because when you need expert care, you shouldn't have to travel far to find it. St. Luke's, exceptional care, nationally recognized, right here at home. Learn more at stlukes-stl.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900.
Charlie Brennan here with a happy 35th anniversary to John and Cindy Morelli, who started Morelli Tuck Pointing in 1991. They were later joined by their daughter Deanna and her husband Julian. As of today, the Morellis have won every award possible for the tuck pointing industry. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. When you're out in the yard or on your patio, take a look over your brick, stone, and mortar joints on your walls, chimney, walkways, and retaining walls. If they need repair, Morelli would love to help. It's a good idea to do that home maintenance before leaks are created or rebuilding is necessary. We've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 homes and have found Morelli's bids to be fair, their work is excellent, and they clean up after themselves. 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock and we have sunshine, 77 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, and this just in, a Texas court has slashed the $50 million judgment against InfoWars founder Alex Jones over falsely calling 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting a hoax and that the murdered children were crisis actors. That judgment was reduced to $1.5 million. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says it has reached an agreement with the St. Louis Sheriff's Department after concluding that former Sheriff Alfred Montgomery terminated older white employees, which they say is age and race discrimination. They say he fired a black employee who spoke out against it. All were terminated without assessments of job performance or experience level. The sheriff's office didn't admit wrongdoing, but will enter a 5-year pre-litigation conciliation process. Under the Trump administration, the EEOC has shifted toward examining discrimination against majority groups.
This is the biggest debt load the U.S. has seen since World War II.
That's Heather Long, the chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union. The U.S. national debt has surpassed a record $40 trillion, which exceeds the entire gross domestic product of the country. Studies are underway to determine where 75-mile-per-hour speed limit signs will be posted in Missouri.
Department of Transportation Director Ed Hassinger says terrain is a big factor.
You know, certainly the ideal condition is straight and flat. There's some of that in Missouri, but not a lot. So those places that we don't have straight and flat terrain, we'll be taking an extra careful look at those sections of interstate.
He tells Missouri Net they're also reviewing traffic volume and crash stats. A new state law allowing higher speed limits along rural interstate highways takes effect at the end of the month. Hassinger says traffic studies should be done by the end of the year and new signs could be posted shortly after. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Hassinger says they've ruled out raising the speed limit to 75 along any section of I-70 due to ongoing construction. Hey, something else to avoid eating. Health officials in Minnesota and Wisconsin are warning about contaminated alfalfa sprouts.
Both states reporting at least 41 illnesses so far. It remains unclear if other states may also be affected. The sprouts come from Everything Sprouts, a Minnesota grower. The FDA had previously warned the company last year after finding insanitary conditions at their facility. Health officials saying the product should not be eaten and thrown away. Yuri Benajad, ABC News, New York.
Kitty Ratcliffe is back. The former president of Explore St. Louis has been appointed to the Regional Convention and Visitors Commission Board by County Executive Sam Page. Page also appointed Steve O'Malley of Merritt's Global Events and former County Council member Rochelle Walton Gray. Ratcliffe is filling a vacancy and will serve a 4-year term. She led the Convention and Visitors Commission from 2006 to 2024. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling weather desk, it should be a very nice weekend.
We'll have intervals of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, a high of 88. Partly cloudy, a bit muggy tonight with perhaps a stray thunder shower late, low 70. Looks mainly dry tomorrow with some sunshine and a high of 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling weather desk, I'm AccuWeather-meteorologist Brian Thompson on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's sunny and 77 degrees right now. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door Summer Tune-Up. Plus, score a free repair or replacement quote and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. It is hour 2 of 3. Hey, I went to Walmart in Baldwin the other day.
Oh, you mean? I love that. That's so good. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. So every Friday, we like to catch up with our friends at St. Louis Magazine. And Ryan Krull joins us on the Quiver River Electric guest line because I have been concerned. I park my car on the street sometimes. And when I do, I always hope that when I come out, my catalytic converter is still there. I also don't even know what that really is, what it looks like, how to find it.
For $10 million, could you draw it now? Neither could I. I couldn't draw a catalytic converter for 20.
Does it look like a cylinder?
Is it like 4 inches long or 4 feet long?
Could not tell. It's not 4 feet. I don't think it's the size of a car. I know they have to go in and saw it off.
Let's speculate for the rest of this segment.
And I also don't really know how I can know if my catalytic converter is not there.
Oh, you'll know.
Ryan Krull is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Amy. I can help you with exactly one of those questions, and that is you will definitely know if your catalytic converter is not there because your car will sound like just a building that is exploding constantly. It's just one bang after the next whenever you drive down the street. My very layman's understanding is that the converter, it does something without them. The exhaust process of your car is very, very loud.
Yeah, it's funny because it is such a big deal. A lot of times in the city of St. Louis, I had a friend who had stickers on his car. When I say that it was dorky, it was pretty dorky, but he had these giant stickers about his catalytic converter not being accessible, so don't even try to steal it. He had it on his doors, these big stickers. But as you've been tracking, because if there is an automobile story, Ryan Krull is on it. Yeah, he's on top.
I'm on it. That's my beat.
Yeah, that's his beat. Anything that has to do with cars. And there has been a series of catalytic converter thefts out in Frontenac. So what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. So the Frontenac, I think, is the key here. These if you remember that there was just a scourge of catalytic converter thefts in the area, like in 2022, 2023, back when I worked for the Riverfront Times. I felt like that was all I was writing about was just sort of just when you thought the catalytic converter thieves could not be more egregious, they would steal one in broad daylight in a Schnucks parking lot while people were filming or something like that. It was just getting ridiculous. But yeah, so what caught my attention was that there's this dealership in Frontenac, not at all like a high crime area part of town, that's had 4 of their cars stored there overnight, have their converters stolen. And what really got my attention was these catalytic converter thefts are really hard to guard from, or to guard against, I should say. It doesn't take a skilled thief very long to get one of these things out from under a car. Oftentimes they can do it very quietly. But this dealership was doing just about everything they could conceivably do. It had fencing, they had security cameras, they had lights. If the security camera sensed any movement after hours, it just automatically called the police, and it was Frontenac, so the cops showed up in relatively quick order. But even then, they're having trouble guarding against this, and it's still a little too early to tell, but it looks like maybe we're about to enter like an upswing again of these converter thefts.
Okay, so what is behind the upswing? Do we know?
Yeah, I think we can take a pretty good guess. And basically, the reason that people steal these things is because, yeah, they have these precious minerals in them, like palladium, platinum, a few others that aren't exactly household names, but are worth a lot of money. And in the last 9 months or so, the value of some of these minerals has like doubled. So, for instance, with platinum, I think it was something like, I want to say $1,200 an ounce at the end of last year. And then early this year, it hit like $2,500 an ounce. It's gone down a little bit since then. But basically, anytime the value of those minerals goes up, you can kind of expect a spike in these converter thefts. And then the other thing that some folks say, this is a little more speculative, but it is interesting. Sometimes an uptick in catalytic converter thefts can actually be a leading indicator of a bad economy. So some folks who would do something more legit can't find honest work, so they go to catalytic converter theft.
Well, that's no good.
No, it's not. It's bad for two reasons.
Yeah.
I thought the economy was doing great. That's what I was told.
Well, I mean, the catalytic converter theft, I guess, would speak otherwise. Here's the thing, though. I mean, it's really expensive if you are the victim of a catalytic converter theft. In your story, you point out a bill by one of the thefts. Well, a series of thefts took place at the Honda of Frontenac, and one of the victims.
This is nuts, by the way.
Yeah, almost $3,000 to repair the damage that was inflicted in the theft of the catalytic converter.
Yeah, and that was on top of the work that he dropped the car off, to actually have done, So it was really kind of like salt in the wound for this poor guy, Jeff Truesdale. But the thing is, these can be very expensive to fix. Some $3,000, sometimes I've seen as much as $4,000. And then the converter itself, I asked a police chief about this, the Frontenac police chief, or someone in law enforcement. And he said, yeah, a thief gets about $250 for one of these things. So they get $250, you get left with a $4,000 bill. It's just awful all around. And I will say this guy, Jeff Truesdale, he's a former journalist, which explains a lot, because he showed me like the very long email back and forth he had with this dealership. And even though it started around $3,000, he eventually talked him down to $500. So he only paid $500. After putting a little sweat equity into it. So, kudos to him, I guess.
So wait a minute. This is what I don't quite understand. He had left the car there, and this is he had left the car at the dealership because it was going to get worked on. It was there overnight. His converter got stolen in the middle of the night on their property, and they were like, yeah, we'll fix it, but it's going to be a cost to you? Like, how are they not responsible for that? It was on their property.
Yeah, that's what Jeff wondered as well. So basically, what the dealership said was that whenever you drop the car off, you do sign some sort of paperwork that says that you don't hold the dealership liable for anything lost or stolen while the car is in their possession.
What?
And I guess Jeff technically did sign that, but he didn't. It was very cold comfort to him when he saw that initial, very high bill. And they also said, according to Jeff, they told him basically, your converter could have gotten stolen anywhere. It could have been stolen in a parking lot outside of a Target or Schnucks.
It wasn't.
If that happened, would you hold
it was
Target or Schnucks?
stolen in your parking lot. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what he said. So I don't know. I can definitely see, and I understand 100% why Jeff was outraged by this. I do feel a little bit bad for the dealership, though. I mean, they didn't ask for this. In fact, they're doing everything they can to stop it, but it's still happening. So I definitely sympathize more with Jeff's side. Don't get me wrong at all, but I do have a little bit of sympathy for the dealership. If these guys were just like leaving the gates wide open and parking right across the street from the scrapyard or something like that, I'd have less sympathy for them. But they do seem to be genuinely doing everything they can to prevent this from happening.
As we move on, but just like how big of a deal catalytic converter thefts are. And you mentioned like in 2022, there was this huge surge that really started during and right after the pandemic. Because I remember a couple of years ago, several years ago, there was a catalytic converter theft ring that was busted by the feds in California. And it was $600 million, this ring was able to, I mean, that's the scope of the crimes they were committing.
Yeah, I remember I remember that story. And then there was some other, obviously not $600 million, but some big rings here in the area. And I think really the real kicker, the thing that's really throwing salt in the wound of anyone who's had to have their converter stolen is the fact that the majority of these converters that are stolen, ultimately they become new converters. So it's like you get yours stolen, then you go to buy a new one. You're buying someone else's, sort of refab stolen one. The New York Times did a big investigation about that a few years ago. So that it's just really a vicious cycle in every conceivable way.
Last thing for you before we say goodbye here. There was the interesting story about Jill Stein, who always comes up every 4 years because she doesn't do anything that we know of, and then she runs for president. But there was a warrant out for her arrest. So that's been dropped by the judge?
Yeah, so this happened on Monday, basically. So yeah, in 2024, she was at a Wash U protest against the war in the Middle East. She allegedly hit a bicycle cop with his own bicycle and perhaps kicked him in the groin. And she ultimately was charged with a couple of misdemeanors for that. And it's been going through the court system for a while. And I knew about her court date. The prosecutors knew about her court date. The judge knew about her court date. So we were all there, but there was no Jill Stein. There was no attorney. And I think if you really want to upset a judge, a good way to do that quickly is to not show up when they ask you to show up. So Judge Karma Johnson was not messing around. So even though the prosecutors didn't ask for an arrest warrant, she issued one anyway. And it was a pretty big story. It was national news. People have very strong feelings about Jill Stein, one way or the other. So this was of interest to a lot of folks. But then within just a couple hours, her attorney did show up in the afternoon. I think he pleaded mercy, apologized profusely to the judge, and she ultimately rescinded the warrant for her arrest. However, she also said that, you're going to have another court date next month, and Jill Stein absolutely must show up in person, or else we're going to hit you with another arrest warrant, she said.
Well, I don't know.
That is a great point that you don't really... What does Jill Stein do every day other than every 4 years running for president?
Just come in and muck things up. That's all she does. And there are probably she probably has some policy ideas I would agree with, but dude, go away. Go away with this lady. My God.
Yeah, obviously she's the one. 2016, she got more votes than the difference between Hillary and Trump in a lot of key states. So that's kind of what she's most famous for in a lot of households.
She is just worthless.
I don't know what she's doing now.
I don't know why, but I kind of wanted her to go to jail.
I feel like she's...
Maybe just so she can't run for president again.
She certainly had time to go to court.
All right, dude. Thank you. You're the best.
You are the best.
Ryan Kroll.
Don't forget to sign up for the St. Louis Magazine newsletter.
That's right.
Hey, always great talking to you guys. Hope you have a great weekend.
Ryan Kroll, St. Louis Magazine, with us again. Any kind of car problems, that's our guy.
He's on it.
That's
derelict cars, abandoned cars.
Now, we got a guy in the newsroom here that's on top of pretty much everything that ever happens in St. Louis or the area. We were talking about flock cameras that are being discontinued in St. Charles. We are going to talk to Sean Malone from the KMOX newsroom in just a moment.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
We often hear the words retirement and annuity used in the same sentence, but it's important to know that not all annuities are the same. If you're not sure, it may be time for an annuity x-ray. Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group can review your annuity. Call Steve at 636-230-8824 and at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Lose weight or stop smoking with Hypnosis guaranteed, or your money back, only $59.99. Hypnosis, Thursday, September 17th, Radisson Hotel, Fairview Heights. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking Hypnosis 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 19th, Holiday Inn, Creve Coeur. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking Hypnosis 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for: their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. Magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, "Have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner." Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
A century strong. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX. Now, Chris and Amy visit with the KMOX newsroom.
So we talked about flock cameras earlier in the week, and I think last week too. I can't remember anything we do.
It's been in the news. It all blends in. I don't know what's on air. I don't know what's off air.
What I do know is that they are being discontinued in St. Charles County, and to talk about that with us is Sean Malone in from the KMOX newsroom. And flock cameras seem to not be popular around the country with a lot of people, and there are some concerns because a county employee was using them inappropriately, Sean.
Yeah, so a St. Charles County Police Department civilian employee, so not a cop or anything like that. We don't have any details because so far it's a personnel matter, and I say so far, I'll get to that in a second, but essentially to get the full timeline here, so facing all this backlash as it's coming out now in a lot of departments nationwide that employees, be it members of law enforcement or civilian employees, are abusing the flock systems and using them to stalk exes and ex-girlfriends and things like that. Flock has apparently rolled out a new audit system earlier this month, but it's apparently, according to the chief of police, Kurt Frizz for St. Charles County, lackluster is kind of what he didn't use that word, but that's what he described compared to other systems. But that audit system did flag that one of their civilian employees was suspiciously misusing it in some capacity. Now, again, we don't have all the details on that right now because it's a personnel matter. Similar to the firefighter pooping in the box, we don't have all the details on that because that's a personnel matter.
A firefighter pooped in the box at St. Louis Airport at Lambert in the kitchen area for some reason.
But so
that's what Sean is referring to.
So after this incident came to light, enough was enough for St. Charles County's police department. And they made, from what I understand, a quick decision. And that it was boiling to this point, I will say, from how quickly they made this decision to terminate the contract with Flock. And that same morning went out and covered a bunch of the Flock cameras with like garbage bags, basically, so they can't see. Because the audit system is still not enough for Chief Frizz to feel comfortable with it, but also it's far too simple compared to other systems, including others that they have, to just look anybody up. From my understanding and speaking with Kurt Frizz, it is no different if you want to stalk your ex-wife on that system versus stalking them on Facebook. You just type in a name, hit enter, and it shows you that person's profile. In this instance, you're typing in the license plate, hitting enter, and boom, it gives you a whole report of here's every time it's been flagged or caught by one of our cameras at all these locations. So you can go back and see exactly where they've been driving by.
Yeah, I agree with you that what stands out to me about this story is the quickness with which they were to act to cover the 28 cameras, to terminate the contract with Flock. What has it been, a year? Less than a year?
I'm not sure how long exactly they've had this contract with Flock. I do know one of the reasons they went with Flock over Gentech is the other company that they have, and they have far more cameras with Gentech than they do Flock. But part of the reason they did was it was easier to get Flock up because they are solar powered, their cameras. The Gentech didn't have that until more recently. So you would have to, if you wanted to get a Gentech, for example, I went to the Veterans, the park in St. Charles, not Memorial Park, not Veterans Memorial. I forget the name of it. It starts with a T, the second word, but they had a Flock camera outside of there, and that was already covered up with a bag when I got there. So it's
and it's interesting because the abuse is a huge concern, and obviously it was a concern for decision makers because they moved so quickly to terminate the contract, because it wasn't like Flock wasn't helping in some ways, because it helped them understand what led to that fatal road rage shooting in O'Fallon. It also has helped with tracking stolen vehicles and also tracking license plates of registered sex offenders who aren't allowed in county parks.
I'll go a step further with a recent example. Remember, I was in here last week, earlier this week, whenever it was, talking about the ambush on the SLMPD and the ATF agents. Now, this wasn't in St. Charles, but the cameras that we talked about that captured, here's the car with the license plate on it. 20 minutes later, here's the car without the license plate. Those were Flock cameras that got, you see the Flock watermark in the corner of the photos of the legal filing. So, like, yes, there are some benefits, but the system has just been, according to Chief Frizz, too easy to abuse.
Yeah.
Gentech, for example, my understanding, you can't just, like any Facebook search, type in a license plate and boom, you'll see every time that license plate is popped up. You got to, from my understanding, I'm working off the top of my head with this here, you got to like request to search this plate, and then there's another person that comes in the room with you while you search it. Their audits, they produce monthly reports that will flag of like, hey, this kind of looks a little suspicious. This person, like in that other, some city on the East Coast, I think it was, that searched their ex-wives' license plate like hundreds of times or something like that. Like, that report will populate with Gentech if you're trying to do it on that system and say, hey, this person searched this license plate hundreds of times this month. Maybe you want to check into why they keep looking for it. So the other systems had more robust guardrails and securities, and that's why St. Charles County has said enough's enough. Their police department is just, they don't think it's safe enough. Even with the new audit system that's rolled out, it's not going far enough for them to feel comfortable moving forward.
Do we know of any incidents of, because we know that there's an unpopularity with Flock around the country.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different in St. Charles than it is in some other areas. We know that some of these cameras had been tampered with or cut down. Do we know of any incidents of that
I don't
happening out
know
there?
of any locally that have happened, of people like we've seen, where they're people are shooting spray foam at them, simple things like that, to, like you said, Ron. I mean, there are people that are just coming out with circle saws and just straight up cutting these cameras down.
Yep.
I haven't seen any instances of that locally here in the greater St. Louis area, but it was interesting. I went to walked around the park and talked to some women to get their thoughts on this. And, some of them were worried about, look, any kind of government overreach is going to be easy to abuse no matter what system you have. Other women I talked to were happy to see how quickly, concerned that the abuse happened in the first place, but happy at least to see that St. Charles didn't just find out this was happening and not do anything about it, that they realized enough is enough and they outright terminated the contract and moved quickly on this. So some mixed results from the people that I spoke to getting their reaction to this. But I think the general sense was concern had happened in the first place, the abuse, but happy to see that at least St. Charles is doing something about it to protect the regular population that's walking around not doing anything wrong and then potentially being tracked by this civilian employee, who I do want to mention is still under a criminal investigation. So there is a chance we do get more details if this person winds up being criminally charged.
Well, really interesting, but kudos to St. Charles, for taking action. And like you said, they still have a camera system, but you have to get approval from an investigator first. It sounds like Flock is just, like you said, almost like social media, that easy to search.
Yeah, that's kind of what I asked Kurt Frizz about, Chief Frizz, and that's essentially, he agreed. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much that simple.
Wow.
Sean Malone, you are the best.
You are the best.
I try.
Well, there's a lot of best here in the newsroom. They're all kind of on equal footing.
The newsroom is the best.
You tell all the reporters that come in, they're the best, aren't they?
Yeah, I do.
You say that
Absolutely.
to all of them, Ron.
I say it to
I
every
know.
reporter.
He's the worst. The worst.
I'm literally the worst. Sean Malone, thank you, sir.
Anytime, guys.
Sean Malone from the KMOX newsroom. You can hear the reporting on the Flock cameras here, KMOX.com. You can listen on 104.1 FM, KMOX as well. When we come back, we will talk City SC. They're doing pretty well right now. They did tie on Wednesday. They got a game tomorrow, and we will talk about all of that with Jen Cease, City SC broadcaster on Y98. She's next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Before YouTube DIY videos, before skip ad, before don't forget to like and subscribe, there was KMOX. And this Saturday, we're still at your service. At 8, the Garden Hotline with Michelle Reeser-West, sponsored by Chesterfield Valley Nursery. At 11, the Home Improvement Show with Rich Orris, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts. So, skip the videos and get it done right. KMOX is at your service, starting Saturday at 8. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
78 degrees, times of clouds and sun, a high today of 88. Tonight, partly cloudy and humid. A thunderstorm in spots late, a low of 69. Weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
Ice Cube's Big 3 season has come down to this. The Big 3 Championship is coming to Charlotte. Who will be crowned the Big 3 Season 9 champion? Plus the Big 3 All-Star Game. The biggest names in the game, all on one court, one more time. 2 games of the most physical, competitive, and non-stop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET.
Yay, yay!
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett. I'm a board-certified master arborist, and I've been caring for St. Louis trees for over 25 years. Today, I'm going to help you choose a tree care contractor. Here's how it's done, so pay close attention. First, Call everyone you know who has ever done any type of outdoor work, including that cousin that used to sleep on your couch. Leave them all messages and wait around to see if they call back. Here's a hint, they won't. Now, post to all your social media that you are looking for recommendations for a good tree service. Now beware, because there will be hundreds of different recommendations. So you need to carefully go through each one, checking that they have the proper insurance, background checks, and even the slightest idea of what they're doing. Schedule a bunch of appointments, and when nobody shows up, get really frustrated and put the whole project off for another year. Or you could just call Timberline Professional Tree Care. 636-479-7475, or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
For men over 50, staying healthy shouldn't feel complicated. Neovitin Men's 50 Plus is a doctor-formulated daily multivitamin designed to support everyday wellness with just 2 tablets a day. You can subscribe at neovitin.com for convenient monthly delivery right to your door, or find Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Deerbirds or Schnucks. All Neovitin vitamins are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility in the USA and are designed for real, everyday routines. Make nutrition easy with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus.
Today, the Cards, the Phillies.
Emron Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Clearance, tightrope walks up the sideline as the clock goes to 95, gets out of bounds, and that'll take us to the final whistle. So that's all she wrote. Your final score in Kansas City, Kansas. St. Louis 1, Kansas 1.
City SC, you can hear their games on Y98, our sister station. Every now and then you can catch the games on KMOX, but you can always listen to our next guest who joins us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. You can hear her on Y98. She is a City SC broadcaster. She is our soccer expert. She is Jen Cease, who is with us again every Friday. How you doing, Jen?
Happy Friday. I don't think I'm as tired as the guys, but happy Friday.
Well, yeah, they played a game on Wednesday. They got to play again tomorrow, so that's not
They
really...
played Saturday, too.
Yeah, so yeah. A lot of games here over the course of the week. And you know what? They're doing really well, as we have been talking about. They have worked themselves all the way up into 6th place in the Western Conference. They were, 14th just a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago?
You know what they say? They may never lose again.
Okay, well, stop that. Stop that. But Jen, I mean, a lot of games here, but they are doing really well right now.
They are. So they're on a, 10 MLS games unbeaten if you add Open Cup, which, by the way, that's who we knocked out. Our next opponent is who we knocked out of Open Cup. That went over Houston Dynamo in penalty kicks. It's an 11-game across all competitions unbeaten streak. That's historic for, of course, the young club. They are doing really well. Now, Sporting Kansas City was not their best game. That's one of those games where I think Coach DeMay told us that, he was tempted to kind of flush it and really not look at it, but they did take a look at it. They know where they found their issues. And frankly, they're tired. They're all the teams in the MLS right now are tired. They're crunching in their schedules due to the World Cup break. However, they're all in the same position. So every team out there is being, having Wednesday, Saturday games right now and trying to get through that. And, their opponent, Houston Dynamo, found a way to beat Vancouver on Wednesday night. That was a shocker. And they climbed to the top of the Western Conference as well.
Going back to that game that you just mentioned, that wasn't their best. They were able to manage a tie, but goalkeeper Roman Berkey really said the same thing. He said it was ourselves, definitely not them.
Yeah.
He felt that they were just, they had sloppy moments with the ball. He said just like easy mistakes when they had possession.
Yeah, for sure. In that game, and when you're playing a rival, I think even we forget that the pros, I think, sometimes can psych themselves out as well. So 1, you're tired. 2, you're pumped up for a rivalry. 3, all of us in the media were reminding them that, hey, by the way, we haven't won at Sporting Park yet. That would be a cool first to have. You have all these kind of factors. And then what Coach DeMay said afterwards, kind of looking at the tape, was it was probably a lot of overcompensation. So rather than, like you said, Amy, making the simple pass, doing the simple thing, there was too much trying to be done, trying to cover too much space, trying to overwork, trying to do your partner's job for them, maybe necessarily. And so they did. They took themselves out of the game. Sporting Kansas City looked to take them out of the game, and City kind of did it for them. So we were lucky to go ahead and get that free kick from Edward Leuven. It was beautiful to see him step up. Anytime Edward Leuven's anywhere near the box, that's an issue for the opponent. Unfortunate, though, to let Sporting KC transition and just have a moment of letdown. And if you have a moment of letdown, even against a team right now that's last in the Western Conference, they're still a good team. There's still quality players there. You just can't have that. So lucky to walk away with that one with a tie. And hopefully we have enough energy to be in front of fans at Energizer Park against a team right now. I keep saying it, too. It's like every game I've talked about, this should be City's toughest test. Houston's going to be a tough one for sure, because they're right now not only 5 games unbeaten, they have 5 shutouts in a row. That's, I think, the 3rd team in MLS history to do that. So they've got a defense that's incredibly difficult to break down.
Yeah, they're in first place right now, too. So this roster has had a little bit of turnover here in the last few weeks, losing Hartle, which was a pretty big deal. They pick up Carlo Holsa, who's with them now. So just looking at the roster, what do you think of it? Is it because it's mostly the same team otherwise, but you lose a pretty key piece? Are they a better roster? Are they even? What do you think of them right now?
Yeah, I think at the moment that loss of Marcel Hartle still hurts them. He's a playmaker. He's a finisher as well. He gets kind of like a jack of all trades. He can go just about anywhere. He can set it up, and we're missing that right now. Now, Carlo Holsa is a great player, but he's only been at 22 minutes and I think 29 minutes so far. He came to us. That's the problem also with not aligning with the rest of the world schedules. He had come to us from Turkey's Super League off season. So, he's not in his top shape that you would be coming into a season. So they have to move him in. I don't think he's a 1-for-1 replacement for Marcel Hartle. He's got his own strengths and they're different. So I would say City right now showed us with LA Galaxy that they didn't lose a step by missing Marcel Hartle, not that game. And they did a lot of things by committee. Simon Betcher, I sometimes give Simon Betcher some flack for not finishing. He got to brace that game. So I don't think they're a worse team, but at the moment, I don't see them, enormously better with Carlo Holsa just yet, because he's just not into the system in full. And I don't even know where he's necessarily going to be. Is he going to fly into Marcel Hartle's spot, or is he going to go over on the right like he did for Edward Leuven, who moved over to Marcel Hartle's spot? I don't even know where he's going to be. And he's typically more of a central player. He's not usually seen much on the wing parts of the field. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach DeMay does with him as he ramps up his minutes with the team.
Yeah, I know, like the whole ifs and buts thing. I mean, it doesn't matter. But with the soccer seasons not aligning, how MLS can lose some of its best players as you're ramping up for a playoff run. And as you just mentioned, with the Houston Dynamo having 5 straight shutouts, you're like, well, crap, it would have really been nice to have Hartle. Like, we should have Hartle. That's how I feel. I know there's no point in feeling that way. I imagine as a broadcaster, you have to stop yourself from voicing that sentiment, because it is what it is. But I would want to say, man, can you imagine if we had Hartle right now?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to have a DP like Carlo Holsa to even be able to come in later, but, the Marcel Hartle's out there in full, or even if he comes off, which was rare for Marcel. He's always in shape. He was always able to go all the minutes. So, yeah, for sure. It is one of those things where Cello is missed by everybody. But you're right. There's nothing we can do about it right now. There is no replacement for him. It's a matter of, and what we did in the LA Galaxy and the Sporting KC game was shift Edward Leuven over to his side. And Edward Leuven's skilled enough to play on the right side or the left side of the field. That's not an issue. And then Songbin Jong came on the right side. And it's a matter also of using Songbin where you can. A player that is that fast sometimes becomes a little bit one-dimensional, right? You already know when Songbin's on the field, we're looking for a ball in behind. We're looking for him to go into space because he will cook anybody on that field. But you have to be able to use Songbin for other things as well. He has shown some growth. He showed some growth in the last 2 games, able to do some different things. But yeah, I would say that, to say Marcel Hartle is easily replaceable, I'd be lying. We miss him for sure.
All right. So is there anybody else we have to worry about losing?
Well, so this is not, there's nothing official I say out there. This is only rumored. I didn't like seeing the rumor, but the rumor I saw, and it kind of flew up a little bit that I haven't seen anything on it, was just Edward Leuven, I believe, his contract is in negotiation at this point in time. And, you never know what you hear online, especially when they come from, anonymous counts for a reason. It's like, okay, if you're anonymous, I don't really know where this is coming from. But that maybe perhaps those aren't necessarily going very well. But he is still under contract. I don't see us losing Edward Leuven anytime soon. But gosh, you feel a little snake bit coming off of Marcel Hartle. So just to even hear anything about a player of Edward Leuven's caliber is not something I want to talk about. But as far as I know, nobody else is really looking to walk out the door at this moment.
Well, here's what I would say about these anonymous sources. Sometimes if you see a user handle that doesn't look legit and they've broken a story and it ends up being true, you should be amazed because it does happen. I remember that I think it was 5-10 years ago. There was this handle of a guy. I think he was on Reddit, might have been Reddit, and he was going by WetButt23.
Oh my gosh.
And this person named WetButt23 broke 2 really big trades, baseball trades. It was like,
Ranj, was it you?
No, it was not. I didn't know. So what I'm saying is you can't totally discount what you see on the internet. You got to take it with a grain of salt.
If I see one from WetButt.
If you see anything from WetButt23,
dude, do you remember when Mitt Romney was Pierre Delecto on Twitter?
I do not.
Yes, he had a.
I do not
Pierre
either.
Delecto?
Yes, it's amazing. So he would sometimes defend Senator Mitt Romney, and it was Pierre Delecto.
What a great burner
How
account!
Great!
Oh my
it kind of
God.
sounds like an adult star. Pierre Delecto, doesn't it?
Who was it that was going by? It was a football player. He was going by Ron Mexico.
Really?
Why can I not remember this?
But I mean, the straight-laced Mitt Romney, good Mormon values, but Pierre Delecto sounds so scandalous. At any rate.
Oh, it was Michael Vick. Michael Vick was using Ron Mexico. Yes.
Oh, well, that's a different kind of story.
Yeah.
So, Jen, I know this is a stupid question because obviously there's no trade deadline, but because there's no trade deadline, does that mean another European league, can they steal a player from us, in the playoffs?
Oh, God, I would love to tell you that there's all hands off, but I don't believe there are any rules around when necessarily, unless, of course, if you're under contract and those kinds of things. And the club also has to, right? They have to agree to it. So I don't see Corey Ray having City in the middle of playoffs because we're officially a playoff team right now. We're not even a wild card team at this moment. I don't see him saying we're happy to let a player go right now, unless it's somebody that is, unconsequential and not even on the bench per se. But I think, in fact, it could happen out there. I just don't see it. Too many MLS teams wanting to let go of anybody important during those times of the year.
So tomorrow at City Park, it is Tina Turner night.
That's right.
Did you know that? City takes
it's
on
going to be gold
Houston.
that night. It's gold.
Yeah, I'm excited
Gold, Jerry,
about it.
Gold.
Jen will be there. The kickoff is at 7:30, which means the pregame show on Y98 is at 7 o'clock. St. Louis Symphony Orchestra will be performing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Kennedy
awesome.
Holmes.
I think Coca is performing as well. They're going to have some performance out there.
That's correct. Yeah, Coca's got performers there. This is all at the pre-match City block party, which happens right outside there. That'll be a lot of fun. Tina Turner night tomorrow at City Park.
And if they do it like they did Marvel Superhero Night, it was so cool because the banners that they have and all the kiosks that go around, everything was done in Comic Hero. The font was Comic Hero font. It was like when things were, you would see the boom, pow, smash, things like that. I mean, City really leaned into the theme everywhere at Energizer Park. So I can only imagine, not only will we only be hearing Tina Turner songs, but if we score a goal, I imagine what that kind of music will be. It should be a fun night celebrating Miss Tina and her legacy that she built here in St. Louis.
Have a good time.
Awesome.
Get us a win.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jen.
Jen Cease. You can hear the broadcast on Y98 tomorrow. Starts at 7 o'clock. The kickoff at 7:30. Tina Turner night at Energizer Park. That'll be a lot of fun.
Will be. All right. So guess what I heard on Total Information AM this morning? That mosquito bites are up 76% and that there's a new invasive mosquito. It's from Asia. And I guess not native to here, but unlike regular mosquitoes, these mosquitoes can bite you multiple times. So that really stinks. And I think, well, no better time to call Rottler because you don't want to deal with that. You don't want it to ruin your barbecue or your party outside. Rottler has a treatment plan that will identify the mosquito larvae and breeding sites and reduce mosquito populations in your yard for weeks at a time, protecting you and your family. Plus, have them out to your house. They will get you that free inspection so that way you can have your house, your home, your yard protected. And, of course, there's the Rottler promise that they stand behind their work. I think everybody likes to know that Rottler not only has been serving St. Louis and the surrounding areas for 70 years, but they are the largest family-owned pest control company in the state. So when you call them, you'll talk to a real person. Rottler.com, Rottler.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin announces The Clydesdale, a Clark Avenue Tavern at Ballpark Village, opening August 27th. KMOX is excited for this highly anticipated American tavern, rooted in familiar favorites, elevated through refined technique and premium ingredients. Reservations for The Clydesdale are now open. Book your table and experience a fresh take on tavern dining on one of the most iconic streets in Major League Baseball. For details and reservations, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Bernie Miklasz here for Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer that's been taking great care of St. Louis families since 1927. Dan Saliga is a fourth-generation owner-operator of this proud family business, and he is maintaining the highest of standards. The Miklasz family has called on Saliga for many years, and we give them the highest marks for honesty, knowledge, and class. You won't have to worry about Saliga trying to fast-talk you into something you don't need, but if a repair is needed, Saliga will patiently explain all of your options and answer all of your questions. The Saliga family business is still going strong after nearly 100 years, and they believe they must earn your trust every time. Saliga will never take your business for granted. Saliga services all makes and models for home or business and offers free estimates and financing options. I recommend Saliga's Priority Club. It's a maintenance plan that will save you money by extending the life of your equipment. To find out much more, call Saliga at 314-481-7333 or visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
See what happened 60 years ago today at Busch Stadium?
I think I did.
Not this Busch Stadium. The old Busch Stadium. The Beatles played.
You know what else?
Beatles played.
It rained.
It
and
did
the
rain.
show was shortened.
Yeah.
They played some of the audio this morning on Total Information.
I guess they, were they just afraid of rain back then?
Well, I don't know what the equipment was like. Maybe it was more sensitive. Maybe the Beatles didn't want to sing in the rain. I think they only got about a half an hour
That's true.
of a show.
And I think that is the only time, if I'm not mistaken, it's the only time the Beatles played here.
Yep.
They were only a touring band for something like 4 years.
I know, isn't that wild?
That's crazy because they were
wild.
Yes, it is.
But you're right, it was the only time they were here. All right, Ron, you love public transportation.
Love it.
Apparently, 2 pygmy goats strolled onto a Portland public bus during rush hour. So the bus stopped at the bus stop. The bus stop.
I saw this, yeah.
And then 2 goats, like they knew what they were doing, waited at the bus stop and got on the bus. And apparently people did try to shush them off, and they eventually got them off the bus, and they had to reopen the doors to let them out. But it was true. The goats, they said, looked like they knew what they were doing. They stopped at the bus stop, they waited for the bus, and then they got on.
Goats can be smart.
Why can't you let them at least take a ride?
Probably because they just poop indiscriminately.
I thought it was because they didn't pay.
Kind of like the firefighters at the airport.
Oh my gosh!
Not
no,
all of them. It was just the
no,
one. It
hey,
was the
don't
one.
Go.
One
We're gonna
firefighter.
throw fists.
Yeah, it was the one firefighter who.
He's no longer there.
No longer there. So I know you saw that the Millennium Hotel caught fire.
Yeah.
The 24th floor, there was a fire. So they believe that they know what caused it. That with some of the torch work that was being done.
Okay.
As they're trying to disassemble the building, that the maybe an ember that was undetectable, they didn't know it was there, was simmering and smoldering for a while and then eventually started a fire. They do believe that was it. Nothing nefarious happened. And I'll be honest, should have just let the whole thing burn. Just let it burn to the ground. It'd have been a lot easier to take it apart, right?
I feel like, in theory, at first blush,
Yes.
it sounds like a good idea.
Except
on second blush, I think
chemicals in the air. Yes.
Yeah, super dangerous.
All the people on the east side like, well, this isn't good.
This isn't good.
Come on, man.
Yeah, how could they not anticipate this? Ranj, I don't know if you enjoy writing at all, but there's a famous contest. It's the Bulwer Lytton Fiction Contest. Well, it's been retired, but it launched in 1983, and the contest partly involved writers submitting the worst possible opening sentence to a novel that nobody would ever want to read. So there are archives from this contest. One is from Tony Alfieri in Los Angeles. This is an old one because obviously they shut down the contest. But his opening line, "In a flurry of flame and fur, fangs and wicker, thus ended the world's first and only hot air baboon ride."
Hot air baboon?
It's so stupid and cruel. Yeah.
Hot air baboon ride?
I know. I guess it's nobody would ever want to read that book.
Did they not mean balloon ride?
Flurry of flame and fur, fangs and wicker.
Hot air baboon. Terrible. Hey, did you see that it's the Cardinals game
Yeah.
coming up on Tuesday? The U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Missouri, they're going to have a naturalization ceremony of people who are going to become U.S. citizens. I think that's always really
That's
cool,
really
when
cool.
they do stuff like that and acknowledge it. But it's coming up on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And that'll be at Busch Stadium ahead of the Cardinals game.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Very cool.
All right. When we come back, we are... Oh, Dulcie Sloan's going to be with us. And you may have seen her on The Daily Show, the show on NPR, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Yep.
And she will be part of St. Louis Art Museum's comedy event, the Gallery of Laughs. It starts tonight at 5:30, and 6:30 is when the comedy really gets going. And we're going to talk to Dulcie Sloan when we come back on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
So we're trying to actually educate our general surgeons if you're getting a hernia repair or a gallbladder out and a woman is done with childbearing, even if they don't have an elevated risk for the development of ovarian cancer, to really get those fallopian tubes out. So we're on a mission to try to prevent ovarian cancer.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Sprained wrist, ankle twist, broken thumb, can't make a fist, busted knee, surgery, that patch of ice you didn't see.
Where pain starts, Jernavix suzetrigine begins. Jernavix is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain.
Tendon tear, nose repair, tripping on that broken stair, dislocation, operation, moped crash while on vacation.
Do not take Jernavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jernavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes.
Joint displacement, knee replacement, fell on marbles in the basement, ladder slip, broken hip, that rock climb where you lost your grip.
To learn more about Jernavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jernavix.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
It is 11 o'clock, sunshine downtown, and 79 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
Well, if you're planning to head downtown early tomorrow from out west, you may want to think about eastbound 44 because they're going to have eastbound 64 closed downtown from 5 a.m. tomorrow to 2:30 p.m. to spruce up that stretch of the highway between Jefferson and 6th Street. Pick up trash, repair a concrete median wall, replace signs. It will be open in plenty of time, however, for tomorrow night's City SC game and the Savannah Bananas. Roger Brand, KMOX News.
Another Missouri county deciding to get rid of controversial flock cameras. The Pulaski County Sheriff says they will not be renewing their contract with Flock and will not replace it with a similar program. He says it's to protect and respect constitutional rights and individual liberties. The sheriff says it was never misused as it was in St. Charles, which is also getting rid of their Flock cameras, but says the community has reached out and expressed privacy concerns. Their contract runs out in October. The Trump administration continues going after those who investigated Donald Trump.
Multiple sources tell AP Justice Department investigators have sought to interview law enforcement officials about the FBI's 2022 search of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. That search led to Trump's indictment on charges of unlawfully retaining classified documents and obstructing FBI efforts to get them back. The requests are part of a Florida-based inquiry aiming to establish a conspiracy against the president, which Trump has long maintained. It's not clear when or if prosecutors might seek to bring charges, or for what. But investigating conduct that occurred in Florida might give the Justice Department the legal hook it needs to try to anchor a prosecution in the state. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The St. Louis Sheriff's Office settles charges of race and age discrimination. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says former Sheriff Alfred Montgomery targeted 13 former employees, 12 because they were white and older, and one black employee who spoke out against it. The department doesn't admit wrongdoing, but will engage in a 5-year pre-litigation conciliation process. The former employees still retain their right to go to court. The mother of a 5-year-old Palestinian girl who was found dead days after Israeli forces fired on her family's car wants an independent inquiry into her death. Israel's military this week admitted to firing at the family's car and toward an ambulance dispatched to help them. All 6 people in the car and 2 paramedics were killed. At least 20,000 Palestinian children have been killed in Gaza by the since the Israeli-Hamas conflict began 3 years ago. A gathering of clowns in southwest Missouri results in several drug arrests. The 26th annual Gathering of the Juggalos is a 4-day music fest hosted by the alternative group Insane Clown Posse, known for their clown makeup and fans referred to as Juggalos. The Camden County Sheriff's Office reports a 49-year-old man found with 93 pounds of marijuana, 124 pounds of mushrooms, 135 grams of ketamine and other substances. The festival runs until tomorrow near Lake of the Ozarks.
Partly sunny this afternoon, a high of 88. It'll be partly cloudy and muggy tonight with perhaps a stray thundershower late, low 70. Partly sunny heading into tomorrow, high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now it is sunny and 80 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay full insurance when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
One of my white friends who grew up in Flint, Michigan, lived here for 3 years, and he said, Seattle is what happens when white people have no supervision.
And having a great time with comedian Dulce Sloan, who is in the studio, in Studio B. You know her from The Daily Show, Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, which is on NPR. And the St. Louis Art Museum is hosting a free comedy event, Gallery of Laughs. The evening starts at 5:30. The comedy starts at 6:30. And Dulce Sloan will be there headlining.
Thank you for telling me. I did not know when the show started.
You're welcome. That's
Nobody told you?
Fun fact about me, I never know when my show starts.
We did. Well, you know what? We did have a texter tell us we're not that funny, but we're very informative. So
I know stuff.
We did hear that today.
We
What the
did
hell?
hear that today.
Yeah. I know stuff. But yeah, it was because I was getting a flyer made for like shows that I have coming up, and I have a virtual assistant who helps me with stuff because it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's one of my friends. And so she
virtually,
yes, virtually is one of my. But that's also what she does for a living. And so she was like, "Oh, I'm setting up your like this," because like her and then my manager's assistant are like setting up a grid. So I always know like when I'm traveling, like instead of having information in a bunch of different places, I just go to this one place, being like, "Okay, this is when your show starts." And so I was putting the thing for the flyer together, and she's like, "Okay, I sent the guy all the stuff, the dates. When's the show start?" And I was like, "Every show." And she's like, "Well, yeah, when they start." I was like, "Girl, that's not my business. That's for the website. That's for that week. That's for that Thursday. This is you talking about a show in November, girl. I don't know where I'm gonna be tomorrow. Why would you ask me something like that?"
I'm gonna tell you something. The Google Calendar changed my life.
Come on,
because I'm serious. Because
I know
I'm
I'm here with you.
I feel like I got something going on tomorrow. I'm not sure. Put it in the calendar. It's there.
He's also a little flaky.
I am also a little flaky.
Oh wow, dang, that's crazy.
I know. I admit it though. Does that help?
I don't know, man. This is none of my business. I just got here. You ain't gonna put me in nothing.
We're putting you between it. You gotta figure out.
Nah. This is a family issue. I just came to visit.
Can you mediate though, please,
sir? In the name of no, bro. I don't. Okay. Is your Google Calendar color coded?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah. See what kind of answer that is.
You got the color code.
I know it's too much.
What What you mean it's too much?
I put in the thing that I have to do, and then it's there. Everything is green.
No, green.
Yeah, everything's green.
How dare you? No. All my shows are orange.
Okay.
And then if I have a meeting, so my shows are in
Okay.
orange. So I'm picking because my phone's always on dark mode.
Mhm.
So it's like my shows are in orange. And then if I have a meeting, that's in red. And then it's like one of my friends' birthdays or something, that's in like purple. So like everything is.
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't have to go, oh, I wonder what this is. It's I can just look and go, okay. So it's when it asks me, do you have availability to do a show this Wednesday? I can just look at it. I don't have to see what it is. If I see 23rd orange, I already have a show.
Yeah.
And so I don't even have to look as much as I would have to dig into it if everything was blue.
Your eyeball knows where to go.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it.
When Dulce walked in,
I get it.
I did fangirl a bit because I said I haven't missed an episode of Wait, Don't Tell Me in like 15 years. So for me, I'm like a little excited to meet Dulce.
I love doing Wait, Don't Tell Me. I listened to it growing up. I never thought I'd get to be on it. I first started doing it during COVID, during lockdown. And so they started bringing me in to do like the live episodes. And then I got to host one back, I think it was like last year, as I came on as a guest host. So I got to do that. Because I asked one of the producers, when are you going to let me host this B word? And he goes, when you ask me nicely. And I was like, no, for real, I want to host one. He was like, okay. So I got to do it. And I was really excited to get to do it.
How'd you get into it?
I was on Daily Show, and they just always are looking for different comics and stuff because the panelists are usually comics or like humorists or like comedic writers. And so it was just because, Daily Show, they reached out to us. And it was really fun. And so, because I've always listened to the show, because I get most of my news from NPR, just because it's like BBC News, where it's just like, here's what happened. And this is what happened. And so it's kind of like, because a lot of times we don't always get that because news became a commodity. So when we started getting like 24-hour news, like, when like Ted Turner started doing like headline news and then CNN. So once news became like commodified as opposed to information, it was like, now we have to run the headlines that'll keep eyes on this so we can sell advertising dollars as opposed to informing people about what happened. So.
Yeah. Well, you do have is it your first stand-up special coming out on Hulu?
No, I had a half-hour special come out with Comedy Central a couple years ago. And then I did the Netflix verified specials. So there were like 15-minute specials that were on Netflix with some other comics on Netflix that came out in 2023. But this is a Hulu half-hour with Hulu and Kevin Hart that's coming out in February on Hulu.
All right, so pay attention to that. How did you get into comedy? Because as you mentioned, The Daily Show, Wait, Don't Tell Me. But was this something that you wanted since you were younger, where you always kind of knew you'd lean towards comedy?
No, I have a theater degree.
Okay.
And so I have been acting since I was a kid. And then one of my little sisters from college was working the door at a comedy club. And I was like doing improv, and she was like, oh, I work the door at this comedy club. You should just come hang out. I'll let you in for free. And I just started hanging out at this comedy club. And I met one of the comics, Big Kenny Johnson, and he was like, oh, you're funny. And I was like, oh, thank you. He's like, no, you're naturally funny. I was like, yeah, thanks. All right, Aunt. And he was like, I want you to take the stand-up class. And I was like, nah, dog, I'm good. Because I didn't want to, because stand-up scared me, because anytime I've ever been on stage, it was my words. It wasn't my words. I was performing. So they weren't my words, and I was playing a character. I mean, other than like being like an oratorical contest or like speeches and stuff like that, I'd never written what I said on stage. And so stand-up scared me because it was all me and it was all my words. And then for 2 years, anytime he had the class, he would have me to come. And I eventually did it because my mom had a dream that I was a comic and the whole world was laughing at me. And then he popped up again with the stand-up class. And at the time I'd gotten laid off. I was on unemployment. And he was like, come take this class. And I was like, bro, the class is $300. That's my whole unemployment check. And he was like, you're supposed to do this. I'm not going to charge you for the class. So, and then now, so 17 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think a whole lot of comedians start there. They just kind of, like they're not necessarily taking classes. I know improv is different because you have to go through Second City or Improv Olympic or anything like that.
So I started doing improv with just an improv troupe. Like they wanted people to
really?
join.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't pay for this improv troupe that I was in for 2 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And so we were doing like shows online. Like every Wednesday we'd be at some coffee shop in Duluth, Georgia. performing for people, and they would give suggestions through this through the website we were streaming through. So I did improv for 2 years, and that was an unpaid thing. And then the stand-up class, Big Kenny didn't charge me because he said I was supposed to do it. So it's just kind of and then I had theater training. So for me, like starting to do stand-up, I didn't have the learning curve of learning to be on stage because I had been in a 900-seat theater in college and been singing, by myself.
It is different, though, like you said. It's because there's a vulnerability. 'Cause it's not just what you've written, but you're also talking about yourself.
Some comics do, some comics don't. When I first started, I wasn't talking about myself. And then I got a year and a half in, and Big Kenny was like, when you start talking about yourself, your stand-up's going to change significantly. And it has. So, like, the special I have coming out on Hulu, I'm talking about, because when I bought my house in LA, I moved my family in with me from Atlanta. And so the half hour for Hulu was me talking about, just living with my mom and my brother. And me and my brother are in our 40s, and my mom is in her 60s, and then she's got this German Shepherd. So every day there's a civil rights dog in my house. Really excited about this oppression mascot that's in my house every day, messing my floors up. And then, my
They
brother
shed a lot.
They do
also
shed.
that. So there's just
Yeah.
another dog just laying lowly on the floor that's falling off of this dog. And he's a nice dog, but he's terrifying. So
Good
every time,
protection.
well, listen, every time he barks, my cat would jump and I would pee a little bit because he's a war machine. It's what he was made for.
Yes.
Truly what he was made for. The dog that stays on the wrong side of history is in my house every day.
The dog doesn't know, though.
But the dog does know. I never play anything in German in my home. I'm not going to have him activate like a sleeper cell. Girl, Manchurian Candidate in my house, absolutely not. I'm a Christian. So,
Dog doesn't know it's a bigot. It doesn't know.
doesn't know he's a war machine. I tell you that much because but he's aggressive with a girl. The way this dog needs you to rub him, I'm like, bro, get off me. And my mama can't walk him because they weigh the same.
Yeah.
That's why he needs a social security number. Anybody in my house that weighs more than a 5-year-old needs to be claimed on taxes.
I think yes, I agree with that. And I think you have to, if you're going to get a dog, it has to be manageable. You can't get a dog that's as big as you are.
Yeah, but the only reason we have the dog is because my uncle died.
Oh.
Right. And I don't know why he had a civil rights dog. He grew up in Jim Crow. I don't understand why we have this dog. You were there. You heard Dr. King speak live. Why do you have
What's his name?
Ace King 2?
Okay.
Because my uncle had a king. That dog died. Got a new dog. Named him King 2.
Okay.
And then my mom was like, we should call him Ace. So his full Christian name is Ace King 2.
What does he answer to?
Yeah.
Ace! Or good dog. That's what we call him. Good dog, because he's nice, but he's always supposed to get too close to my face, and I don't want him to activate while he's too close to my face. But he's owned by black people, so he knows not to kiss us in the face. He don't do that. He ain't trying to never look us in the face. He knows where he's at.
So, does Ace King 2 make it into your routine?
Absolutely. The dog is horrifying. To stress my cat out. My cat passed away.
Oh, no.
Because of the dog?
No, she was 18. Wow.
I don't know. You said.
That's crazy. But she used to stress. He couldn't come upstairs because my cat was upstairs. Because she was 18 and he was 3. No, that was not a match. That was a match made in hell. No, he wanted to be a friend and she was like, get off me.
Wait, how old is this dog?
He is 5 now.
Oh, wow. So it's a
you got
baby.
some time.
Yeah, he's 5 now. But Esther, it was Queen Esther and Miracle. Miracle, she went outside one day and didn't come back. And then Queen Esther, we moved her from Atlanta and she passed away last year. But she was 18. So that's like, it's technically, and because cat years are different than dog years. And so 18 for a cat is like 90 years old.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah. So I had stairs for her to get in my bed. But like she just at one point, just kind of just went on her own.
Cats have no stress, not worried about anything. They just kind of exist.
They really do. But they were, Esther was really sweet because like if there were other stray cats in the neighborhood, so my mom would sometimes give them treats on the front porch. And if there were other cats in the neighborhood, Esther would come get my mom to feed the other cats in the neighborhood if she was cool with them. Miracle, on the other hand, didn't like that.
Yeah.
But because she was like, I don't know these cats. And so Miracle wasn't about
I got a very close friend who has been for years feeding these neighborhood cats,
Mhm.
and now raccoons have started showing up, and she's feeding them too.
So apparently, I've seen this on the internet, but the internet is full of lies.
Yeah.
And so they were saying that like the raccoons are trying to domesticate themselves.
That's what. Okay, well, that's what's happening.
And I saw this. It was this meme of a raccoon praying, being like, "Lord, I saw what you did for the cats." And it was so funny. But it's this raccoon like hand up, like, "Lord, I saw what you did for the cats." Because in a lot of states it's illegal to have a raccoon as a pet.
Oh, is it? I mean,
Well,
I
yeah.
couldn't
So.
believe it.
Well, because listen, I think people's main problem with qualm with raccoons is that they have thumbs.
A little too human.
Well, it's just they're too dexterous.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
right.
they do eat like they have all their fingers moving when they're eating.
Well, because it's also fun because they can like wash their food. Like me and my homeboy years ago were at a car wash, and this raccoon got an apple. His trash was tipped over. He got this apple out the trash, and we saw the raccoon take the apple and put it in the water that had like run off from the car wash, and lift the apple up and look at it and look at us and go, "Ha ha," and then put it back in the water and go, "Eh," and then tucked it under his arm. And my homeboy went, "Yo, was that raccoon talking to us?" I was like, "Yeah, dog, I think so." You seen the video of them eating cotton candy?
No.
It's so sad.
Oh,
That's really? sad.
What?
Because it tries to wash it. So, because like it's like at a
Oh,
pin, and it tries to wash it, and so it takes it and it dissolves, and then the raccoon's like, "What the?" And then they give it another piece, and it's like, and then they give it another piece, and looks at the pin, and is like, "Hey, you're not gonna get me this time." And he doesn't wash the cotton candy the last time, but literally puts it in the water, and it's like, "What the?" Ah! Like you could just see this raccoon go, "I was had," and so
You've got the right algorithm. Whatever
Yeah.
you've done, it's rocking.
Well, here's like my For You page is great, but the other parts of it is like now Instagram is like, I'm like, who are these people? These aren't my friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, but it's mostly very super political, and then like here's a crafting thing because I'm
Yeah.
a big crafter. I have a
Yeah.
craft room at my house, so that the dog loves to come in.
Well, I love it. And everyone listening, if you're laughing along, you'll want to see Dulce Sloan tonight at the St. Louis Art Museum for Gallery Laughs. So the evening starts at 5:30, the comedy at 6:30. So admission to the St. Louis Art Museum is always free, but they've got, they take it up a notch with this special programming, Gallery Laughs. I think actually the doors might open at 5. They're going to have a DJ there, a cocktail hour, and don't miss Dulce Sloan. Dulce, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
If you want one of my friend's neighborhood cats, I'll get one to you.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Cats got to come to you, baby.
That's right.
The
cat
distri-
chooses you.
right.
The distribution system.
It's Dulce Sloan. That's Chris Ranji. I'm Amy Mark Scores. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. The Estates of Post Farms is another one of our exciting new communities in the fast-growing city of O'Fallon, located on Highway N just west of Duello Road. You'll love our trails, lakes, playground, and pickleball courts. Select a spacious estate lot, and we will build a luxurious designer series home for you with our legendary quality and personal service. Located within the acclaimed Wentzville School District. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. It's time to move up to McKelvey.
When it comes to your health, exceptional care matters. At St. Luke's, nationally recognized physicians, advanced technology, and compassionate care come together to provide an exceptional healthcare experience close to home. St. Luke's is nationally recognized for excellence across multiple specialties, including being named number 3 in the nation for cardiovascular care. Because when you need expert care, you shouldn't have to travel far to find it. St. Luke's, exceptional care, nationally recognized, right here at home. Learn more at stlukes-stl.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Nope. That's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life now. 314-720-8444.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra vutrisiran is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
Okay, here's our dilemma.
We don't know if we want to talk about divorce or
drinking.
Well, and sometimes one thing can lead to another.
That's a great point.
And actually, either one. I think either one can lead to the other one, probably.
I'll just say, since it is timely, the new survey, it was reported today, 13% of people say they drink too much. 13. I think that's underreporting.
I don't know.
And I think drinking too much might be like getting drunk or getting drunk too often. And that is the lowest number in decades of this survey. However, 20% of women and 25% of men use cannabis. And 30% of those say they have marijuana use disorder. So cannabis has gone up and drinking has gone down. And I know that you always got to take self-reported numbers with a grain of salt, but I have heard that, especially with like Gen Z and some millennials, that drinking is way down and cannabis use has become way more widespread.
Yeah, and what they say, or at least one of the explanations for it, is that the younger generation is trying to be healthier than the generation before it and then the generation before that. And there's a belief, and I know there's a lot of truth to it, that drinking and doing it a lot is bad for you, and that if you just, have a gummy or if you smoke a little bit, that it's probably better on your body than drinking is. And there probably is a great deal of truth to that. I do know when I was in college, I knew quite a few athletes at Illinois State who would smoke. And this was back in the 90s.
Marijuana.
So their gummies weren't really a thing.
Yeah.
At that time. But I knew a lot of guys who would smoke because they did not feel like crap the next day like alcohol would do to them.
I know, Matt, you said your age group is less likely to drink or no?
Yeah,
It's less likely.
Yeah, depending on the group. I mean, a lot of my friends would probably smoke more than they would drink.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a trend I've noticed. I'm not that way, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't do either.
Lame.
But I will say when I was younger, like at that age, like, late high school, early 20s, I feel like for millennials, it was drinking. At least in my circles, I feel like more people were
Yeah.
drinking at parties than marijuana.
I'm sure there's going to be an age cutoff point where it switches over to the other
Yeah.
side when it became legal. Like when you grew up with it being legal, then you're probably more inclined to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
I grew up with it still being illegal for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm less likely to smoke weed.
The 30%, and this was all in Total Information AM this morning, the 30% who have marijuana use disorder, which means it feels very hard or impossible to stop. I mean, that's also a concern. If, I've personally, I know it's anecdotes, but friends who felt addicted to it, like they couldn't stop. If they had it, it's what they did, and they were high all the time. They just could not stop. So, I mean, with anything, you are going to see issues rise, but I do wonder if it's going to be a pendulum, because once you have generations where they've grown up where marijuana is legal, does it ever swing back to alcohol? Does it generation to generation, does it swing back and forth?
Like we did with vinyl?
Yes. Alcohol is the vinyl.
It's the new vinyl record. Maybe that's what it is.
I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, this guy over here, alcoholic, Matt.
I do know people who, by the way, because it's kind of off topic, but people who threw away their vinyls when tapes became a thing. Because they're like, when am I ever going to use this?
Threw away vinyl.
Yeah, they stopped making records. They stopped making record players. But you don't throw it away. Well, and now I bet they all wish they had them.
My dad's got. He threw away his.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because see, I grew up on my dad's vinyls because he had them from college and he still has them. Oh no, that's
well,
awful.
how would you know? If they stopped making record players in mass.
Well, I think because my dad had his old JBL speakers from the 70s and his old record player, and he just personally liked vinyl, so he just kept it.
So,
wow.
We thought that there was no better way to celebrate Great Divorce Week. Remember,
it's kind of a horrible phrase.
150 years ago, the Great Divorce happened. 150 years ago tomorrow, they voted to split the city and county in St. Louis. It's had long-lasting effects. Well, you know what? We thought we would celebrate divorces. When we come back, we're not really celebrating, but we have questions for family law attorney Susan L. Ward. She will join the show when we come back on KMOX.
The Cardinals conversation doesn't end when the game does. Watch the Gas House Game, Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, and sports on a Sunday morning whenever and wherever you want. Plus, exclusive conversations with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol, president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom, players, broadcasters, and baseball insiders. Subscribe today to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel because Cardinals fans deserve a front row seat.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mike at Michael's Baths. Remember, you don't have to hire a national giant company to get a high-quality bathroom remodel. In fact, you're probably going to do better calling the local experts at Michael's Baths. Family-owned company with more than 30 years of experience, premium products, and experienced professional installers. Just look at their 5-star customer reviews. Act now. Get on the schedule before the holidays. Call Michael's Baths 636-775-0800 or visit michaelsbaths.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
82 degrees, real feel temperature 96, a high of 88 today. Tonight, a low of 69, partly cloudy, humid, a thunderstorm in spots late. Weather sponsored by Scott Credit Union.
Teachers, healthcare workers, first responders, and military, this one's for you. Scott Credit Union's Community Heroes program offers special financing on homes, autos, and more. It's our way of saying thanks. Visit scu.org today. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 415767. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you.
Homeowners, I know a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling, and that's leaving money on the table. Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler. I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So, Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure that they get top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. That's why you call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Today, the Cards, the Phillies.
Ameren Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX. It is a Friday. We're having a nice time today. And I don't want to say we're celebrating divorce.
No, because it's a bad thing.
We are acknowledging divorce. And the reason we are is because 150 years ago tomorrow, the city and county decided to split from each other. And maybe there was some nefarious stuff going on. And as we talked about with John Hancock, it's possible that it actually didn't win. The vote didn't actually win, that maybe it was tampered with.
There were nefarious goings on, like stuffing ballot boxes and every other type of, what did they say? Not scandalous. At any rate,
yeah,
it wasn't good.
Wasn't good. Anyway, has long-lasting effects. And we figured, hey, why not acknowledge divorce? And we thought that we would get our next guest on loan from the Dave Glover Show. Susan L. Ward, family law attorney, joins us now on the Quiver River Electric guest line. We thought we'd talk about divorce here in general, and we've got Susan with us. How you doing, Susan?
I'm great. Thanks for the invite.
Well, we're happy to have you because we thought, let's talk about divorce. It's difficult. I've never had to go through one. Never had to go through a marriage either. But,
go through a marriage.
That makes a big difference.
I had to go through a marriage.
I've watched them.
He's married to people.
It's sometimes it's easier to watch from the outside. That's for sure.
Yeah. So in your line of work, it must be. Even for you, it must be psychologically taxing sometimes because you have to be in the middle of two parties who may not be getting along very well. What is that like?
Oh, this is a very high burnout area of the law for that very reason, because we've got our client who has their whole life in a blender: money, finances, relationship, children. And so you have to, I think I learned early on that you have to turn it off at the end of the day. Otherwise you're going to go home and kick your kid, your dogs, your partner. That's not good. So it is exhausting if you don't give yourself those breaks. And I've been in it long enough after 35 years that I've got a pretty good work-life balance on that.
I know divorce is always hard, even if it is the right move. It's something that needs to be done. It's just really a difficult thing. But we've all heard the phrase, like, oh, that was a really ugly divorce. Like, that was really bad. What percentage of them, like even just kind of ballparking of divorces that you've seen would be classified as, ugh, that was ugly?
A lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, think how many divorce lawyers there are here in the metro area. And the problem I think for people in a relationship, anybody, not just divorced people, but people who have kids together or, any kind of relationship, is that it's very hard to remove yourself psychologically from the person that you've been bound to, in love with, had kids with, and then say, well, this isn't working out, so now it's a business deal. That's not an easy transition, and it doesn't happen very often. In terms of scorched earth, that's what I would call the really ugly ones. Scorched earth is a much smaller percentage because either the money isn't there to fight about it, because then people will blame the attorneys, but it's really them incurring the attorney's fees, or that there just isn't the wherewithal to continue to expend your children's college education because you don't like the other person or can't separate yourself emotionally from the fight.
Do you ever find yourself serving as a therapist in a way, because you are having to be in the middle of two parties who may not be getting along?
Interesting question, because I specifically tell people over and over again, I'm not your therapist. I'm not your brother, sister, priest, counselor. I can't fulfill that role for you. But what I think I can do as a mom, a divorced mom, a lawyer of 35 years in this business, I can say, as a practical matter, let me have you think about these things. And let me have you think about what this result might look like. And then, then go vet it with your support team.
How did you get into divorce law?
Well, that was not a very interesting story because I fell into it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm the first lawyer in my family, and so I didn't really know what I would like. I much easier knew what I did not like when I was in law school, what areas I didn't want to do or didn't think I would be very good at. And then I started my second year of law school clerking at a family law firm and never left. And 35 years later, it's history.
So we are talking with Susan L. Ward, family law attorney here on KMOX. And obviously, when people get to the point where they're deciding to separate, things have not gone well. And maybe they've gotten, as Amy said, pretty nasty or ugly. What would you recommend to people? Because I know there's so much emotion involved, and it might be 95% emotion, which is why you get to this point. What do you recommend to people, or how to approach a situation if they're getting close to this point where they've decided they do want to split?
It's so important. It's so important, even along with any marriage counseling or any couples counseling. It's really important to have a legal consult. Call a divorce lawyer, call a family lawyer, tell them your situation and get that consult so that you know what some of the consequences, good and bad, of your decision may be. Because you'll see it on social media all the time. Oh, my partner did this and acts like this and does this and this about the kids. And so many people want to jump in and say, you need to leave, you need to go, and not realizing what the consequences of going are. And I'm not advocating that, anyone stays in an abusive relationship, a violent relationship, something that ultimately harms not only yourself but the children. But I think that people need to give it all of the try that they can, because if they have kids, you're getting 50% or less of your kids as a start. And you're getting less than 50% of your assets as a start, because I'm getting some of the money, the other lawyer's getting some of the money, your guardian for the kids may get some of the money. And it is a huge decision to to not be taken lightly. And there's so much that can't be fixed. I mean, I'm divorced, like I said. So there's things that cannot be fixed or that cannot be overcome. But to just say we kind of have lost our heat, lost our verve. I mean, there's a lot of ways to maybe try to work that through. And talking to a lawyer is super important, not to feather their nest, but to find out what the legal consequences of that decision might be.
Okay, so I know that it's got to be very rare where two parties at the exact same time amicably decide, hey, we should probably split up. So usually it's one person has to take the first step in ending it. So what you're saying is that person should talk to an attorney first?
I think so. I think either, or if you're in marriage counseling, or couples counseling, or no counseling. I think either side, if you don't think things are right, you need to talk about what that might look like. Because quite frankly, there's some people that will not be able to support themselves if they just walk, or they will not be able to provide for their kids or their medical needs or their health problems. There's lots of questions that could be answered. That, again, this almost sounds like I'm advocating to stay in a bad relationship, but I'm not. I'm saying make sure that you have the education in order to plan for the breakup.
Well, along those lines, because you said you've been doing this for 35 years now, in your career, have you seen the threshold for divorce lower? Or is it about the same as it's been? Threshold meaning smaller issues and people are more willing to get divorced over smaller things.
Yes, much lower, much more disposable with relationships since when I started, 100%.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I mean, that's a big jump. Does that also mean that you think people are getting married more easily? Like, hey, let's get married. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like they're viewing the whole thing as more disposable?
I can't really speak to that side of it. That correlation would stand, but I can certainly tell you that like everything in this world, marriage, families, relationships have become disposable items.
That's interesting. Susan L. Ward, family law attorney, is with us on KMOX. Maybe this is a question you can't answer, but have you ever had any amusing moments as an attorney?
Oh my gosh, we talk about coffee table books or, things like that all the time, or cocktail party stories that, if you can not name the people and whatnot. Yes, there's great stories. I mean, we've had my favorite story is the divorce where the parties literally made a custody agreement for their fine china and silver, and how it had to be. I'm not lying. I am not lying. How it had to be cared for, how it had to be transferred, how it had to be stored, who got to use it what holidays. I mean, that is my prime example, seconded only by the pet custody.
Okay, was this out of pettiness? Was it?
No, they were fine
so
collectors.
Oh.
They were collectors of fine things.
So they have that in common.
I'm not that fancy.
Well, so I get the dishes.
I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know about that until I had that case, and I was like, wow, there's a real fancy world out there.
Oh,
yeah,
my
no
Lord.
kidding. I don't know. Okay, this is me just being an idiot, not knowing how it works, but like, is there ever a time where maybe the divorce is either so like lightweight, like the reason is like, I don't like the way he chews, and you're like, I don't know that I can represent you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that for
she
whatever,
breathes weird.
Yeah, where it's either too lightweight or way too heavy that you wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? Like take that person.
Oh, I completely understand what you mean. Let's just say in the course of the consult, I will kind of assess what my caseload is and what my team may want to exert their energy on. Yeah. And so that will help. There have been times, though, when we have gotten our team out, when we have had to withdraw from cases because the emotional load on the firm itself. I mean, we have a great team here, but the emotional load of any one case from time to time has to be removed, and we have to get out because It is literally too much physically and emotionally. That is very rare, but that's happened a few times over my career.
Aside from the China custody, again, fine China custody, is there any? Can you remember another silly example of what two people were fighting over that you had to be a professional about it, but also thinking in the back of your mind, like, what the hell?
Koi pond.
Koi pond.
What do you do about a koi pond? You can't move it.
Apparently, you could.
Okay.
Is it like digging a new hole? Because you can't bring the same hole.
I guess. But yes, there was a koi pond.
Wow.
Like I said, there's always pets. There's always koi pond. There's never a koi pond or silverware. But that's another one. Yeah, it's there. I wrote off the price of a washer dryer one time from my fees because literally the whole case came down to who was getting the washer dryer. And I looked at my client and said, I will take X dollars off my fees. We cannot talk about this washer dryer anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Was it a nice washer dryer or was it old?
It must have been the best washer dryer in the universe.
Susan, I got to ask you then. I know we could talk to you even longer, but how do you not lose faith in the institution of marriage?
Well, because you just always hope and pray that like somebody's going to do for myself, I don't like to reflect, but I have reflected on what I've done wrong. And I like to think that, perhaps people will just kind of reflect on what they can do to make their relationship different and better and stronger. And so I think it should be entered into very, very carefully. And then it's a job. But it's also an adventure. I mean, but you gotta treat it like a job and how you care for each other and care for that institution and keep it maintained and keep it fresh. The best example I can give you is I find that the way I describe a relationship is the couple should always hold hands and then put the children holding their outside hands. The couple can hold hands in the middle and then each take a child on the outside. So that the couple always remains first and is the strongest center for their family.
Well, yeah, I really love that.
Yeah, I mean, this is really good stuff. We appreciate the conversation. Thank you for talking it over with us. And I tell you, if I ever do get married, my inevitable divorce, I'll come to you.
Oh my gosh, Chris.
He's the worst.
Susan, I promise.
Well, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed getting to meet both of you.
Do you mediate breakups too, or you have to be divorced?
No, we can do breakups.
Oh, cool. All right. I'll get back to you.
That he will need.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, you guys have a great day.
Thanks.
Susan L.
Bye.
Ward, family law attorney, on loan from the Dave Glover
Show.
Show.
She was great.
Yeah, she's awesome. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. The Gas House Gang is at noon today.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin announces The Clydesdale, a Clark Avenue Tavern at Ballpark Village, opening August 27th. KMOX is excited for this highly anticipated American tavern, rooted in familiar favorites, elevated through refined technique and premium ingredients. Reservations for The Clydesdale are now open. Book your table and experience a fresh take on tavern dining on one of the most iconic streets in Major League Baseball. For details and reservations, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Join Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement, every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX. And get more, including the Kickin' with the Rickens podcast, when you visit RickenFinancial.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Back to savings at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a free MicroGuard Select Oil Filter when you buy 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, a look back at this week's Chris and Amy Show. Out of context.
Wow! That's the whole morning.
An ethereal choir of little children.
Spaceball happens later. 5:40 is the first pitch tonight.
Donkey Kong?
You can't have Donkey Kong. Oh.
Because maybe, you know what, nature called. It was something that was out of your control. You didn't have time to make it to any of the bathrooms that are all over the airports.
Okay. I think I know what pretty much all of those
I
are.
do.
Yeah, we're going to nail
Good
this one
week.
today. It's the week out of context. Here we
All
go,
right.
Matt.
I'm going to play these clips for you guys, and you need to give me the context, all from the past week. Ronzi, we will start with you. Give some context to this.
Wow! That's the whole morning. That's what it's like when you walk into the office before the show starts. That's Amy. Just on a 1,000. It's like when it's 150 degrees and 100% humidity and you open the door to the outside and it hits you in the face.
Yeah.
That's what it's like walking into the office every morning.
Those are my best hours.
Yeah, I
I start to fade at 9.
That's what I need you to back everything up a bit.
5 a.m. to 9 a.m., I'm on fire.
Amy, you're next. Give some context to this.
An ethereal choir of little children. That's the sound that electric vehicles make when they're backing up.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. I was going to say, yes, that's right. I remember now. I was going to say drones.
Oh, that's
drone
right.
deliveries.
Yeah. One more for each of you guys. Ranji?
You can't have Donkey Kong. Oh,
who can't have Donkey Kong?
Scott McFarlane was not allowed to have video games as a kid because his mom said that it would invite Satan into his house or
But
something.
not just video games, Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. Because I said
And Pitfall.
I grew up with like Mennonites. I'm pretty sure they could play Pac-Man.
Great.
Amy, last one for you.
First pitch
Spaceball?
tonight.
What is Spaceball?
Yeah, what is
yeah.
Spaceball? Ranj said later on tonight he's like, oh yes, Spaceball.
You thought I said Spaceball.
It was Spaceball.
It was very, very close to Spaceball.
It was close enough that Matt cut the audio.
I knew we'd nail them. We got them all right.
Good job.
Got them all right. Hey, by the way, I wish we would have talked about this, but last week, did you see the story in the Post-Dispatch about dork dancing?
No.
There's a thing that goes on in Forest Park called dork dancing.
Well, can we get to it Monday?
Yeah, but it's happening again at 10 a.m. at the Central Pavilion.
What?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
How am I? How was I not invited?
I don't know. The headline of the story is why does this group of dorks keep dancing in Forest Park?
What if it's just me and my friends and we don't
running
know?
around? No, there's actually it's a real business. We need to talk about this next week.
We do. Matt, take a note.
Yeah.
Take a note. I've been there.
He started it.
I'm a participant.
All right. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, iHeart app, wherever you get your podcasts, we'll be back Monday, 9 a.m. Chris and Amy show. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang on KMOX.